Hello and welcome to the DCP number 102, the Forsaken pre-raid Last Wish discussion podcast. Right?
Yes, it is the night before.
'Twas the night before the Last Wish.
On All Hallows Eve.
Last.
There was, in fact, supposed to be a fourth person that was joining us. However, the grind may...
Forsaken. He's been forsaken.
He was forsaken to the grind. And,
Forsaken.
And we have not heard yet from him. So... Tonight, it is the three of us. Holtz currently is manufacturing Edge transits because there is a shortage.
They're running out.
Yeah, they're running out.
Yeah.
There's so many,
crazy.
yeah.
I got some extra I can loan him.
I don't think he wants used. You can't have secondhand. Sorry.
I hardly even used them. I looked at the parts.
Doesn't
That's
matter.
it.
You drove it.
I didn't
you
even
drove
take it out of the
lot.
cellophane.
As soon as you drive it off the lot, you bought it, man. I'm sorry. We was 5,000 legendary shards, just like that.
I bought it all right.
I paid for it with my soul.
How's the grind been going, guys?
Good. Well, hold on one second. So so Holtz, he's making those. Pope also couldn't make it tonight because he's got life things and all that. He's got a baby. and also Ari,
Babies make sounds.
aka Triple Wreck, was supposed to join us tonight, but he has, like we said, he's been forsaken to the grind. So
Forsaken.
Forsooked.
Yep.
He's been forsucked.
So yeah, yes, the grind.
Yes.
The grind.
Yeah.
I mean,
It's
all
been-
three of us
ooh.
been going hard.
It's been, yeah. I have been waking up at very early every day, going to bed very late.
What's that
every
mean
day.
exactly?
No, I've been
early.
waking up at like
Crack of noon.
between 7 and 8.
Wow, that's early. Jesus.
Yeah. Well, because like, especially for the podcast, right? If I'm going to stream in the day, I want to make sure I get a good like 6 hours in at least before
Yeah.
the podcast.
Yeah.
And then I don't want to go to sleep too late because I don't want to wake up and be like, guys, it's raid time. But my brain doesn't work. which can be
Yeah.
This morning, I woke up at 5. I made a cup of coffee. I stumbled into the office. I logged in. Cece was still on from the night before.
I saw that.
He
yeah.
ran me through 100K Nightfall.
Really? Was it just
Yeah.
you two? He was just like,
no, Nick as well.
okay, I was
And
about to say, he was just like, come with me, Brian. I'll solo this thing.
Follow
Brian
me.
CC.
Watch this sleeper simulant shatter everything.
watch number 1 in the world at work, sir.
Oh my gosh. Yeah, the grind has been intense. Like I've been averaging 10 hours per stream. Like some streams have been longer,
Yep.
like it's been intense. Like, but I've been absolutely loving it at the same time.
That's the
Yeah.
thing. I was a little bit worried about it, right? Because we've usually had 4 days of grind before raid. Like we get a DLC or we get a new game, we get 4 days before the raid drops, and then boom, you got 4 days to do as much as you can.
Mhm.
10 days, it's like suddenly I'm thinking I've got to manage this a little bit better than just 4 days of just
Yeah.
all out.
Smashing your face into
Yeah.
the game. Just-
Yeah. You
Yeah.
gotta
You're like, gotta be a little more methodical.
you gotta marathon it a little bit. You gotta pace yourself, make sure
Yeah.
you don't suddenly
Right? It's not a sprint, it's a marathon. Exactly.
Mhm.
Exactly.
It's very true. Yeah. But my drops have been. I've had some days where I got like 5 energy weapons in a row. My energy weapon was the highest, so they were all dropping basically below what my energy weapon was at. So
Yeah.
that was like 5 drops just completely wasted.
That's rough.
Yeah.
Ooh, yeah,
That
it's-
was my entire day today. Is all I got were weapon drops. I got an exotic that dropped. I think it was 5 light levels below my
Jeez.
power level, which I was really upset about. I mean, I was having to get the exotic because it's that sword that like
Oh,
shoots
nice. Black Talon.
That's
flames.
very fun.
It's
It is a
super fun.
sword.
I like it quite a bit. But it's like I needed armor. I needed armor all day, and I just got none of it.
Yeah.
I got one more Titan to run through,
Mhm.
and I'm looking. It's a little grim, guys. A little grim for raid. I'm not gonna lie.
That's the thing.
I
Like
mean,
the armor situation, when you level up your main, everything is slowly coming up with each drop, and generally a drop
Yeah.
is going to equal gains no matter what. But as soon as you do your alts, you're like, oh boy, please don't give me a weapon. Please don't give me a weapon. And also, please
Right.
don't give me a weapon when it's like a powerful drop, like those Petra drops.
Yeah,
those
the
are
big boys, yeah.
those are like the major boosts. You can get you can
Yeah.
jump a huge amount if with one of those drops if it's correct. And yeah, I got screwed on one of those where I got a weapon and I was like, oh, why? You gave me a weapon.
Yeah, it's been. I did have some really good drops though. Like my warlock needed a helmet desperately, and I did the 100k Nightfall, and she got that. So that
Nice.
was huge because that was like a 544 drop, which is way higher than what she was. So I've had some really good ones, but then I've probably wasted like 5. Probably 5 in one day I wasted. So I was like, oh great,
That's rough.
wonderful.
Yeah. Yep.
I wish I had learned about the Nightfall a little bit earlier. If I had started doing that last week, I think my overall light would have been higher because grinding the Nightfall gives you up till you hit 540, you can get blues that drop like 4 or 5 below your power level.
It's between 10 to 5 below, not 4.
Yeah.
Yeah, but 10 to 5, yeah.
Okay, so 5. So, but like I'm up to 5.
Yeah.
So like if you have one item or 2 items that are like really low, like say you had a Titan Bond that's like sitting like, 10, 12 light below the rest of your gear. Like it's a good idea to just farm the Nightfall for a little bit, hope to get a blue that's just 5 below. That could raise your total power up. And then the next time you get a power drop, then that reflects your new light level as opposed to your old light level.
Yeah, I did that.
I can hold you back.
I did that on my hunter, and I had chest, boots, and a cloak that were all underneath that drop rate. So I was able to get a whole light level just by that alone when I switched over to my hunter.
Yeah, that's huge.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
It's huge. Yeah.
Yeah.
It's been a hell of a week. We're all a little tired. We were talking before the show about, we're all a little tired. We've been streaming long hours. We've been grinding long hours. But Tefty, you said it before. It's like it's been a very enjoyable grind.
It has.
It has
breadth
been
of activities that are available to us right now. I'm reminded of the Taken King where it was strikes, right? You grind it up to, the soft cap, and then you were just doing strikes for hours and hours and hours trying to get I think it was exotic engrams, right? Out of those strikes.
No, that was Rise Iron.
Legendary drops. And then I'm reminded of Destiny 2's launch, and it was public events.
Mm-hmm.
You're just grinding public events.
Yeah.
It felt like for 2 days.
Yeah.
Right? It was just
an
public
insane
events.
amount of public events. Oh my gosh.
This grind is wider, right? Is you're going to the Dreaming City. You're running bounties. You're doing Crucible. You're doing Gambit. You're doing strikes. You're doing story missions. Like there's so many things that are involved in you playing with clanmates.
Every time an engram drops, you're excited because it might be a prime engram.
Yeah, and when you see the little shinies coming off of it, you're like,
oh, isn't there a distinction between a prime and a?
Yeah. There's like a beam of light that goes.
Oh, really?
It's
and it's got like some little sparkles coming off.
Yeah,
I didn't realize.
And I look
that.
at it, I'm like, is it sparkly? It's sparkly.
Yeah.
Every time I see that, I get so excited because those are powerful gains, and what's
and then you find out it's an edge transit.
Yeah, and then you call Pulse and say, "What the hell, man?"
You can put it in your sleeper at least.
Yeah, it's really interesting what they did with this. I personally feel like this is the best leveling grind that Destiny has had ever.
It's good,
in my opinion.
I would agree.
I agree. I completely agree with you.
Well, one of the main reasons is because they've done multiple soft caps. So if you're under 500, your blues go all the way up to 500. Then if you're under 520, things like I believe the Nightfall dailies and weeklies will give you up to +5 drops when you're under 520. Then as soon as you get over that, your dailies and weeklies become anywhere from 0 to +2, depending on your light level. And so like the soft cap jumping with each step makes it a very fascinating grind because just like you said, you have all these options, all these avenues.
And you gotta really think about it. You're like, really okay, so I have the Petra thing, I got the 100k Nightfall, I have the dailies, I have the weeklies. What do I do first? I want to do the dailies. I want to go into the weeklies. You want to try and squeeze every little bit of light that you can before you turn in those really big light gains.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, you want, and then you're praying. You're like, oh God, don't give me a weapon. Don't give me a weapon.
Although sometimes if it's the weapon that you can transfer over to your other character, you're like, please give me a weapon.
If you're in that position.
And now stop.
Yeah.
Now stop giving me weapons.
Yeah, exactly.
Once you're on the new character and you got like your weapons are like 30 light higher than your armor.
Yeah.
You're like, please God, no, please stop it.
Yeah. I do wish that there was a little bit more. Like you can kind of figure out what does give weapons more often. Like the Nightfall for me has been very much weapon focused. Like it almost always gives me a weapon. Whereas like the Petra bounties give me a weapon and a piece of armor almost every time.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So like when I really need armor, I know to go for the Petra bounty, right?
Yeah.
And like you have the two exotic quest lines that you can go to for primaries or for kinetics. So like there is a little bit of like, choose your own path.
Mm-hmm.
But I wish there was just a little bit more. Like I wish that like maybe the strike playlist would guarantee armor.
Oh,
like so you could kind of
I hear you.
You could kind of order it a little bit better.
I hear you, but I think that's a problem for somebody trying to rank up for the raid. So it's a very like a small slice of the entire population. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay, that makes sense.
True.
And like,
yeah.
I really honestly think that this is the best leveling version that we've ever had in Destiny, and I hope they look back to this as like this is the model. Like this makes sense as a Destiny grind.
This is where we work. This is where we start for the next one.
Yeah.
Right. We work from here. Like there has been a little bit of bugginess.
Oh yeah, for sure.
I've definitely been caught by the bugs. Like the Petra bounty got like deleted from my inventory. Like the dailies, everybody's strike. Was it Strike Gambit and Crucible weekly? Like kind of got reset, but they gave us that back today.
Yeah.
So there's been some bugs to it, but overall, I've been having a lot of fun with this grind.
Yeah.
This grind is more fun than any other one.
And I'm more excited for this raid than I have been for any other raid because it's a continuation of our story.
Mm-hmm.
It's going to evolve the city, the end game location that we're in. We're going to find out more about just what's going on with the Awoken City and what all this stuff is. So I'm so excited for it, not just to get in there for the first time and experience the mechanics and everything fresh, but I want to know I want to know the story. And that's the first time that's happened with a raid where I'm like, I just want to know what's next.
Yeah.
So I just want to jump in.
Yeah. I mean, technically the raid
excited.
has its own entire like space, like the Dreaming City was an end game design that is also encompassing the raid at the center of it. That's just awesome. I mean, there's so many secrets. Like they said that we were going to get 6-man patrol, right? Like that was something that they talked about in the past, right?
I don't know. I almost think this is like a Mandela effect thing because everybody thinks they said that, but nobody can find where they said it.
Really?
Really? So, because I'm sure that they were like, so the well, it's not in a public space. It's like its own instance away from the public space. So you're going to be able to go in there with 6 people. I'm so sure they said that.
Yeah, I could have swore they said they were introducing 6-man patrols.
Raid, so this might be wishful thinking, but I wonder if after the raid, when we have to do like the higher levels of the well, that after it's completed for the first time, it unlocks like the next tiers of the well. And you can go in with more
we
people.
could use the raid spawn.
See, that's
to go
what
anywhere
I think.
In the Dreaming City.
That's what I was thinking that they were going to do. Was that they were actually going to put the raid spawn as the 6-man patrol, so they don't have to rework their system because apparently their system can't allow patrols to work that way. So maybe go.
So, that's interesting because they said that you're going to be able to see raid groups going through the door when you're in the Dreaming City, right?
Mm-hmm.
They mentioned that
in Destiny 1.
Yeah, like Vault of Glass. So if you're able to do that, then maybe they can do the well as a 6-man.
Yeah, I'm hoping that that's what it is. There's also just like you said, it's exciting to see this raid because there's so many things that are going to unlock with this, and I'm hoping that that strike unlocks as well. There's like a strike where if
the corrupted.
Yeah, the corrupted. I like. It's exciting to think that there's going to be, I hope anyways, a strike in the Dreaming City because that place is amazing.
Oh.
Right?
Yeah.
Like,
can I just say how much I love going to the Ascendant realm?
Yes, it's incredible.
It makes me giddy every time. I'm just like, especially when you're doing the Ascendant challenge because there's no time limit to it. You can kind of just take your time and look around, and it just feels so cool going to a completely different realm.
Yeah.
It's awesome.
And then so that's like a secret in of itself, right? Is finding the Ascendant realm.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And then when you're in the Ascendant realm, and that moves, at least it's moved once so far, right? It moved at the weekly reset to a new location with a new challenge. But then there's also a secondary challenge inside there. So there's the main challenge, which is, do the thing that you're there to do.
Right.
But then there's also this person you need to talk to in there.
Freaking Tolan, man.
Mm-hmm.
Tolan's in there hanging out.
And then you get the other bounties where you have to like kill the knights, which luckily was part of the challenge this time.
I need to complete
but you have that
stuff
in there as well. And we have another one where it's like defeat the plague of the well. And I was like, this is going to be easy. I just have to go defeat a plague. But we haven't actually seen that yet. He's not in any of the tiers.
Yeah, it's not unlocked yet.
So no, so I'm so excited to see more of this because we have bounties for things that we have not figured out or have not unlocked yet, and that's so exciting. The raid is like the beginning of the game opening up.
I mean, they said in the Game Informer article that like it's going to evolve, it's going to change weekly. Like the actions of the players are going to change the experience of the last city, or I mean the Dreaming City. So it's so exciting. Like from all the grinding, I haven't really had a time to just like chill and walk through the Dreaming City, and it is easily the best playable space that they've made. Hands down.
It's so good. Gorgeous. They took like the Dreadnought with the secrets and all of that and made it humongous. It is such a large space. It's beautiful to look at.
Yeah.
And you go in there and you actually feel like you shouldn't be there. It's like, I'm in this place that I'm not quite ready to be in. So, and I really like that feeling.
Yeah.
If you do explore too, you start to find things that like clearly like this space has been built for something. Like there's like a cathedral. There's another like area that looks just like the blind well. There's there's the skulls that act as vendors. There's so much stuff in there that like we don't really understand yet. Or
you're like totally right. You have like the garden where the challenge is this week. There's nothing else there.
Yeah.
It's just the Ascendant Challenge is there this week. There's nothing else. So I'm sure that they wouldn't just build that giant space. It's a really big space just for a portal to show up.
And that's what's interesting too, is like the Spindle Quest was discovered because somebody killed a knight that opened up essentially one of those portals on IO.
Right.
And now they've got this system where these portals are moving around. So there could be like a very specific thing that you have to do in the city, kill a certain type of like high value target, and then a certain portal opens up if you drink the space juice somewhere in the Dreaming City. Like, it is awesome.
Yeah.
I love stuff like that. Yeah. That could then unlock like there's an exotic quest.
There's a boss that appears at the Taken Public event right near the entrance to the blind well. There's like 3 circles that you got to stand on. Cece again was showing me this morning. You got to stand on these 3 circles. Like, so your fire team has to, each person stand on a circle. It spawns in this boss. And while the boss is up, there's chests like spawning all over the place, but they're only there for like a couple of seconds and then they disappear. So like clearly something's going on here and we haven't figured it out yet, but it's very cool.
It's so cool.
I know. Every time I see something and I'm like, yep, that's a thing. I don't know what it is.
Looking forward to finding out though.
Like even in the Ascendant Challenge, so the first one we had to kill the blights to then open the crystals to kill the crystals. There's other crystals in the Ascendant Challenge on the lower levels that have immunity.
Yeah.
That's something.
Yep.
Don't know what that is. Maybe it's a later Ascendant Challenge and we have to kill. I don't know. There's so much still to explore.
Yeah.
And this is what makes Destiny so good, is really going into that mystery. And they've just delved into that. And if they keep this up, this is amazing.
Exactly.
This is one of the things that hooked me on Destiny 1 right at the get-go.
Right.
Was the mystery of it. And like, discovering like all these planets and, sparrowing around and like, seeing that guy that has like, a raid weapon that's doing void damage as a primary. And like, this is the kind of stuff that's really cool. And like, where'd you get that and how'd you do it? And, we've had a little more time with the subclasses. You guys want to talk about some of the subclasses that you've had a little bit of time to use?
Actually, hold on. Before you bring that up, your discussion of like loot that you see, I wanted to bring up the sniper rifle that you got, Watts.
Oh, yes.
Yeah.
What'd you get?
So there appears to be fixed role weapons that drop when you do the Ascendant Challenge and you turn that in. You have a chance of getting one of these fixed roles. It comes fully masterworked, so it's masterwork tier 10. And it comes with what appears to be what Bungie thinks a god roll is.
Yeah.
Oh, really?
So my sniper has box breathing and it has snapshot and it's masterworked for handling tier 10. And it has the shader on it that's animated as well.
You can get that on the other weapons, by the way, because I got a regular scout.
Yeah.
What's the name of it, Watts?
Well, it's Twilight Oath.
Oh, it's Twilight Oath. Okay.
Yeah,
it's Twilight Oath, but it has I've seen other ones as well. I've seen someone with Tiger Spite that has kill clip and an outlaw, and it's got this fixed roll and tier 10 masterwork. So they looks like Bungie's put these things in the game where it has a small chance to drop.
So I absolutely love this concept for loot. And I really, really hope that's in the raid as well. Because if there's raid weapons, which it seems like there's random rolls in some of these raid weapons from some of the leaks. If there's the raid weapon set with random rolls, and then there's the possibility of getting these like exotic level legendaries, essentially.
God rolls.
Like a gifted god roll that's really rare to get. Like, I think that is just, it's fantastic. This is an incredible decision on their part to go with the loot. Like, this is exciting. You could get regular stuff from these rolls, or you could potentially get like the god roll. This is what they think fully masterwork with like it looked a little bit different too, right? Or is it the same model?
I think it's the same. I think it's probably just the shader on it that makes it look a little spooky.
But what's interesting is that it had no options for the perks, right?
Yeah.
It was completely locked like an exotic.
It's just this is the perks that you have.
Yeah.
This is the only thing you select. Yep.
That is very fascinating. Really cool. I think
it's super cool.
That is so cool. Like, I want to see the different versions of this stuff that can like possibly drop. And I wonder if they're going to expand on it too in the future, like with the next stuff.
I hope
be able to have like different tiers, you know?
Because I think it's super cool. Because you also never see like masterwork stuff drop anymore, right? Because it has to be tier 10 masterwork to have the yellow outline around it. Yeah. So when when this drops and you see that yellow outline, you're like, oh, what is that? So that's when you know it's one of these kind of, I like calling them the gifted weapons.
Yeah.
It's like it's just a gift from the gods.
It's really cool.
It's really cool.
So I did get one of those. It's called the Vouchsafe. It's a scout rifle. It came with the shader and it came tier 10.
And was it completely locked in the rolls?
Yeah. It's got Zen Moment, Dragonfly, Flared Magwell, and Fluted Barrel.
What's the masterwork?
It was for a while my highest. Hold on. I'm looking at Dim to find out.
That gun's perfect with Zen Moment too.
That sounds like a crispy roll.
Yeah. It came masterworked with. I don't know if I can figure that out from Dim.
No worries. Yeah. That stuff is so cool. Like, I really hope that's in the raid too. Like, you can get the hand cannon, but then you could also get their like masterworked. You got lucky drop type of thing from it.
Yeah.
That's so exciting.
Yeah.
This is honestly like, this is the Destiny that I've wanted probably from the beginning. It's ticking all those boxes of excitement and loot and grind and variety and mystery. It's kind of ticking all the boxes that I wanted.
Same. Absolutely. So supers, huh?
My opinions have not changed.
No, still the same.
Blade Barrage is amazing.
Blade Barrage is amazing.
I checked out the new Solar Warlock. I actually just unlocked it.
That's also amazing.
I said some words last week that I've come to regret. Being a support class is no fun. Nobody wants to be the support class. And then you drop this flaming sword and stick it in the ground and watch bosses disintegrate.
Yeah.
Like,
and you can just tank so much.
Yeah, your fire team just comes into the thing and just starts firing whatever they got at, whether it be a boss in, a primeval in Gambit or, one of the ogres in the Blind Well, like whatever it is, it's dead meat. It's amazing. And I can only imagine what this is going to be like when you combine the Titan Shield, you're firing through the Titan Shield to like double up on the benefits.
That's nice.
I haven't had that happen yet. I got to say, this subclass is super hard to unlock because you got to get ability kills with it. And obviously you're not getting super kills. You can occasionally like slam it down on like a thrall or something to kill the thrall, but for the most part, it's not killing anybody.
Yeah,
it does take a while.
But I heard a tip today in chat. Somebody told me to go into the Ascendant Realm, and where you're just you're getting the energy all the time. And start throwing grenades, and
that's a good way of doing it. Yeah.
So I'll do that either after the podcast or tomorrow morning because I think that's going to be what I bring into the raid.
Yeah.
There's an adventure on, I believe it's IO, where it's called Prometheus something. That allows you, when you get to a certain point, it just constantly refills your super over and over again. So I did that adventure for a few supers to fully unlock them, just so I didn't have to hurt my team trying to get ability.
Where was it again, Watts?
It's on IO.
And
it's one of the adventures. Prometheus something.
It's the mission where they're trying to like recreate the live, recreate the light, and it keeps on popping out orbs and all that. Yeah. right?
Yeah, it just poops out orbs. You pick them up, and you can just sit in there and super over and over again.
Yeah.
Awesome. That's perfect.
Yeah,
and it recharges your grenade ability, right?
I believe so.
I think it does everything.
You know what else you could do? Put on a modifier in the Nightfall that gives you grenades.
Oh, that's not a bad idea. But then I got to deal with Nightfall strength enemies.
No, just pick a Nightfall that you can go out into the patrol or something.
Oh, that's a good point.
Yeah.
I can just do patrol.
Just keep on doing lost sectors back and forth. Easy.
Yeah, I can farm.
Yeah.
I can farm lost sectors.
Lost sectors, I'm back again.
Or you go beginning of escalation protocol, get all those thralls on you, one nade. The fire nades, they just literally walk into it. You just can't repeat it as easy. And also sun bracers help a lot too, so you can throw a bunch of nades.
Some bracers require you to have your melee.
Yeah.
And you don't start the class with a charged melee.
Yep.
So
that's true.
Exactly.
Well, unlock that melee.
I gotta say, yes, I agree. Well of Radiance is a lot of fun. I was surprised too by it, and it's also really cool to actually slam it down on enemies because it is. It does a little bit of an AOE as well, so it'll kill like several around you, and yeah,
a little bit. It's not very powerful.
No, it's not powerful at all. But when you do slam it down, it's like this is my land. This is where I live. You know, and
I was having fun with
so much in there.
Oh my god, it's ridiculous!
Insane amount of damage.
I was having fun with it today in PvP because I had to do my weekly PvP challenge. I was like, you know what? I'm gonna use this. I'd be like, here I come with the super. Where'd I go?
Everyone's runs away. It is amazing if you do go get like into their spawn and they keep spawning and you just put your well down and you're using a bow especially because then it one-shots headshots.
Oh yeah, there you go.
And if you get rampage going, then you're one-shot body shotting and you're just ping, ping, ping. It's really fun.
I'm a late bloomer when it comes to using a bow in a crucible. The first time I tried it was today, and I was having a blast. Oh my god, it's just fun.
It's good stuff.
They nailed the bows. They really did.
They really did. Yeah, I was using Arsenic Bite earlier in the strike, and it's arc damage, and that's the bow that basically rolls as a perfect roll. It's a static roll.
Yeah,
and it's great. It's just like it's satisfying to hit headshots, and it's incredible.
Yeah, it's easy too. Like the aim assist makes it pretty easy to do it. You know. In fact, I was watching somebody on console, and he looked away. He was coughing, and I was watching his screen while he was coughing, and the bow followed the guy like right across the screen. Like, oh yeah.
Yeah, I think without it, bows would probably feel pretty poopy.
Yeah, but they feel great on mouse and keyboard too, though. You know, like there's enough aim assist that it kind of helps you out.
Yeah, bullet magnetism.
Do we want to talk about strikes really quickly?
Sure.
Because there was a strike that was the Nightfall this time around. Was it the Warden? No, it's not the Warden. It's the other one.
The other one, yeah. The Fanatic. Whew, that was tough.
I didn't do it.
Oh my gosh. That room. So, first of all, depending on your level, he will one-shot you.
Yikes.
So I had someone with me, he was 315. They got one-shot by his little laser thing. He two-shots you if you're on level, like a good level. His little stormy thing, if you're in the middle of that, good luck, you're dead.
Can you jump up? Does it damage you while you're in the air? You have to be like outside of it completely?
Yeah, you have to be out of it completely. And then he spawns probably 5 million enemies that just run at you with fire and pain.
So many ads.
There's so many ads.
This is the strike that's like the last Baron.
It's
the Fanatic, yeah. The one that pulls you in. He tethers you. Yeah. That's him.
Yeah.
It's a really, really fun strike. It was very difficult. And when we did it, I was like, thank the Lord. I was hiding so much. I was trying to just like peek shoot him. I was like,
yeah.
But then when the
shotgun comes out of there, that's to die for.
Ooh, really?
Yeah.
Didn't know about that.
Yeah. They all have strike exclusive loot, which is amazing.
Love it.
Yeah.
Yeah, that strike as a Nightfall is intense. You will be like,
it's very intense.
Oh my god, I can't believe that happened. They the number of ads that are rushing you, and it's like wave after wave. And then also, like, thank God I had a rocket launcher on me that was arc damage, or the one for Dreaming City. So every time he popped us up and tried to pull us in, I could pop that shield immediately. But if you get to there and you can't drop that shield quick, like, well, you're screwed.
What I was doing is as we were tethered, I was like getting ready to charge my grenade because I was on my solo warlock to give everyone an overshield. So as soon as the tether is done, I could throw the overshield and we can hopefully survive to get out and go hide.
Man, it's intense. Yeah, it's fun though, and very satisfying if you've completed it.
The strikes this time around. See, I'm really sad that you guys are not able to play the new Hive Strike, the PlayStation exclusive one.
Is it good?
I love that strike so much.
I didn't even know that. Watts.
It's sorry.
Now I'm depressed.
I think
it's like the Brood Mother. But it's like this wizard lady who she splits herself into a shadow version of her and a normal version.
Oh my god, Dark Souls boss.
You have to pick up worms, squiggly worms, to put them in walls and to open up the next area. It's really cool. It is a very, very cool strike.
That sounds amazing.
I think PlayStation has a full video of that on their...
They probably do.
Like their YouTube channel, because it's a PlayStation exclusive. And I think they play it without anybody speaking, so you can just listen to like all the dialogue if you're into it for the lore.
It's cool.
Whatever.
Apparently, that's the hive that the Mindbender mated with. Baby mama, Mindbender, baby mama.
Really?
Yeah, apparently. Wow. And I understand because she is hot. Like her.
Crispy.
As soon as I saw her, I was like, I want to look like her. Give me her everything. She's beautiful.
The strikes in general, I think they've done a fantastic job. Like,
oh, they're so good.
Which makes me super
Prison
excited.
of Elders is
Oh my god. That's
straight up nostalgia.
That's the best strike to date, in my opinion. But the way
the
pacing.
Know something funny that was maybe not so funny at the time? I accidentally had a Nightfall card enabled when I did the very first Warden strike for the first time. And I put us at 505 in the Nightfall.
Yikes.
And I was like, man, this is really hard. They were like, wait, 505? Oh, yeah, that's probably why. But we did it, and it was amazing. I was just sitting there throwing grenades because I think Grenadier was on at that point. I was just throwing grenades. Just nonstop grenade throws.
That's fantastic. Yeah,
the strikes are amazing.
They've done such a good job, and it makes me again super excited to see what they do with the Dreaming City strike, assuming there is one, obviously.
Yeah, there's definitely one that's missing.
Yeah, this is something.
And I assume it's like the Ascendant Realm strike,
right?
It's corrupted.
Yeah, this is something that I really hope that they do. Okay, so not to jump ahead to Iron Banner, but Iron Banner's coming out next week, and they're going to introduce a map for the Crucible. Which I like them doing that stuff. I want to see that happen with strikes as well. I know strike content is a lot more difficult than a Crucible map in terms of production values and all that. But I would really like them to unfold new strikes as either the months or the seasons go by. Like if the new season for the Black Armory introduces 1 or 2 extra strikes into the game, awesome. That's great content. Like they're definitely going down the path of making things more grindable and more exciting to grind, obviously. So if they add more strikes that are of this caliber, oh my god, fantastic!
It was one of the best things about Taken King, in my opinion, was how they kind of they slow burn the release of content over time. Right? There was like, it seemed like every morning we were waking up reading Reddit to find like the new secret that somebody uncovered, or like a new weapon quest, or something along those lines. And I've always wanted them to go back to that because it made the daily like kind of play of Destiny so interesting, because there's always something new to look forward to, or to be doing that day. And that we're kind of gonna get this kind of drip feed of content at least for a month or two.
Yeah, definitely.
I hope that they're able to maintain it. Yeah.
I hope so, because this is amazing. They've just from every angle they have, in my opinion, nailed it. The strikes are incredibly fun. The PvP feels so much better. Gambit is great, minus Sleeper. The grind is great. The variety of activities, the well is great, and I'm so excited to see the next part of the well. Oh man, can't wait.
Yeah,
I gotta say, PvP. You guys can have that PlayStation specific map back.
Really, you don't like that?
You don't want it?
No, I don't like it.
I like that map. That's hilarious. I really like that map. The one in the arcology.
Really?
Yeah.
Is it the round one?
Is it round?
That's Retribution.
No, I think it's Mars. It's like round. It's like the hallway is round.
Yeah, you're thinking of a different one, Tefty.
Well, there was a PlayStation. Wait, is there 2 PlayStation exclusives maps?
I think that came over. Yeah, because there was one with Wormide, maybe.
Was there?
Oh, you're thinking of the one that's bright.
You're thinking of Wormhaven?
Yeah, you're thinking of the one.
I'm thinking of the one in the arcology.
You're thinking of
Oh yeah,
Retribution.
that one's nice. That one's fun.
Okay, I don't think I've played the
I'm
other
thinking
one.
of the one. I think it's on Mars, and it's set up basically in a circular pattern. There's like a core in the middle with a small circle, and then there's a bunch of quarters that go out to a bigger circle, and then outside of that bigger circle, there's like these landing platforms. Like,
Oh, that one. I haven't played it on
Yeah.
PC yet. Yeah, I know what you're talking about. That launched with that actually launched with the base game.
yeah, I remember playing it on PlayStation.
I completely forgot about that. It hasn't come up for me yet. I mean, I haven't played a ton of Crucible, but like, I figured that would have popped up at least once by now. Yeah, I remember not liking that one. Yeah.
It just plays so weird because you're constantly.
It's just a circle.
Yeah, you've constantly just got these weird angles, and then people coming at you from like these other.
You know
weird
what?
angles.
That
It's a
map
weird
worked
map.
when you had primary meta. Now it's shotgun.
Maybe.
Now it's shotgun heavy.
Yeah. What are you guys thinking about the meta? Like, you enjoying it?
I'm finding it okay. If someone's running around the shotgun, I'm like, I'll just fusion rifle you if I need to. I can just jump in the air, and usually they can't close that gap fast enough. When they start shooting me, they're like, oh, okay. They only have 2 bullets, so as long as you get them to waste those 2 bullets, it's fine. Yeah, I think so far I'm fine with it.
So far,
I think there's anything I'm mad about.
I enjoy it. When I go into Crucible, for the most part, I'm having a fun time. And if somebody's rushing me with a shotgun, I typically can either A, use a shotgun back, or B, back up and primary them. And the primary fights are still fun. And like, I just, the options are exciting. It feels like Destiny's back. Is there going to be problems? Of course. There is always going to be something that's like, Jesus, there's going to be the sleeper simulant of the Crucible in probably a month from now that people are like really upset about.
It's going to be that damn world's first raid gun, man.
The will of 1,000 voices, whatever the hell. You know, like people, there's going to be something. But the game is fun and interesting when people are complaining about a specific thing versus saying, well, the modes are just not fun, just straight up.
Oh, yeah.
Right?
Yeah, that's a big difference.
That's a big difference. Yeah.
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 Like, I've been thinking about it this whole week, grinding. Like, everything has been a different experience because I can go in, hit something with Ace of Spades, whip out my sniper from the Crucible, which I've been loving, the Fate Cries Foul, and then, you know, rockets or linear fusion or like the options are Destiny. They're fun. It's fun Destiny gameplay. And
yeah, absolutely.
It's amazing to think we had a year of 2 primaries and barely using any heavy because of the sandbox.
Just imagine playing Gambit with 2 primaries. There's some dudes where it's like, I need to snipe this guy, or I need to shock this guy. Is that a triple?
We might have a triple. Let me tell them to jump into Discord.
Okay.
There we go. Yeah, it's exciting. It's very exciting right now.
It's very exciting.
Yeah, I have noticed. It's hard to tell if it's lag. You know, there can be like lag instances where it seems like a guy mapped you with a shotgun.
Mm-hmm,
yeah.
Mm-hmm.
But it seems like every once in a while, there's a shotgun out there that just really hit you from a long way away.
Oh, yeah. And I think that's just straight up lag, personally.
I think it might be.
Yeah. Did you see the video of them showing spectral blades not working, essentially? You see that?
Yes,
and they showed 3 points of view.
Mm-hmm.
So they showed the guy actually hitting, going back and forth. And then they showed the guy watching. And then they showed from the perspective of the guy getting hit. And it like just straight up showed the fact that sometimes the game doesn't compute where people are. And like latency is a huge factor.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
I'm waiting for Triple to jump in Discord.
Okay.
Then moving on. Maybe he's... Oh, okay, hold on. Oops. Why is this not... That's weird.
Does anybody know if Holtz will be back on the podcast? Yeah, so he talked about waiting for about a month after Forsaken's out. He will be back eventually. He will be back on the podcast eventually. He just doesn't want to be sitting here while we're talking about all the secrets, and he's like, can't say anything.
For some reason, I can't unmute my mic in Discord. Fascinating.
Oh, well, now he's not in the call. Now Triple X not here.
Triple X gone, guys. He's gone,
We've ascended to quadruple wreck.
We have.
Is there anything else we want to talk about our experience so far? I mean, we've just been putting in so many hours just playing milestones. Like,
yeah, exactly.
I can't wait to really unpack. Like, I put a full day into the Crucible, or put a full day into Gambit grind in there. But right now, it's just like, okay, I've done 5 Crucible matches. It's time to move on to Gambit.
Yeah. I'm looking forward to just being like, okay, I'm gonna go play comp and get Luna's Howl. I'm gonna work on that. I'm gonna go level up my Gambit and go work on those bounty things, whatever the hell those are.
Yep.
It's gonna be nice to also just be able to. Okay, I don't have to grind every little bit of power, but I bet you they're gonna drop something like that second tier of the well, and you're gonna have to be. They're gonna be enemies that are like 565.
Right.
Oh, you thought the light cap was 600? Just kidding.
Yeah, exactly. By the way, guys.
Yeah.
I think Triple's here.
Hello.
There you are.
Hello,
Can you
hello.
mute yourself in Skype?
All right.
Perfect.
Hey, Triple, how you doing, man?
Hello.
Hello.
How's it going,
Can you
Triple?
see me? Is everything good?
No.
I haven't used Skype in so
We
long.
can't see you.
No, we can't see it, but it's okay. Skype. Oh wait, there we go. We can see you now.
Now we can see you.
All right.
Yeah.
Okay. Cool. So I think tonight is very indicative of my experience with Forsaken so far. I've been physically unable to stop playing, and it may or may not have affected my sleep schedule slightly.
What's the longest stream you've done? Was it 36 hours? Somebody was telling me?
No, nothing crazy like that. It was like 30 and a half hours.
Oh,
and the other ones
crazy.
were right. And then 27 to 30 has been the sweet spot.
The sweet spot.
The sweet spot.
The average.
It has been, but yeah, no, it's. I see. This is the thing. You don't feel bad. I don't even have anything to say. I just that's it. That's it. I love Forsaken. It's exceeded my expectations. I can't stop playing, and I'm just happy.
And now you're ready to go and keep playing again.
Yeah, and now I need to leave so I can go play. Why am I here?
Well, thanks for stopping by.
Why are we?
That's how I feel right now.
Doesn't even...
I think. Sorry, guys. Great podcast. Gotta go.
That's gonna do it for DCP 102.
All right.
Yeah. Catch us in the Crucible.
Triple. What's your light level? Where have you gotten to with
my light level? Okay, so I wasn't able to get my third character. I didn't maximize all the activities, and there's a few things I still haven't done yet, but I think I'm about 543 on my Warlock and my Hunter.
Not bad.
And then I have a handful of activities that I still do.
Yeah.
So yeah, I'm feeling pretty good.
And you can't wait to jump back in. That's what's amazing, right?
Mm-hmm.
I can't. I know. This is what we live for, right?
Absolutely.
Yeah.
As gamers, to have an experience like this where we are just thoroughly enjoying it, and it's, what a time to be alive. What a turnaround, right? It's it's everything we hope for. Of course, nothing's perfect. There's the little things here and there that maybe I like to see tweaked or changed, but just overall big picture, I'm over the moon.
Yeah. I go to bed thinking about it. I wake up and I can't wait to start playing it again.
Yeah.
I'm not gonna lie. I did my offering. I turned it in, got the offering, and then it just wasn't in my inventory. My consumables weren't full. It was the issue where you fast travel, whatever.
Yeah.
I couldn't sleep because I was so sad about losing my offering. I was thinking about it all night.
Watch, I had somebody join my fire team, and apparently that bugged it. I was doing my offering. Somebody just randomly joined my fire team while it was happening, and it just disappeared.
You have to be so careful with that thing. You're like, okay, we got it. Let's carefully transport it to the place where we get the offering.
Not his fault either. It's just random.
Right. Absolutely.
Yeah. It's
Right. Yeah. So
RNG is interesting in this game, and honestly, I love it.
Yeah. The bugs have been they've been quirksome. It'd be nice if it launched without some of these bugs that have kind of stood in our way. I know that if you are trying to do a world's first and you're getting kind of just repeatedly hounded by these things, it can be angering. It would have been nice if it launched without these, honestly.
Would have been nice, but like, man, what a night and day difference from D2 launch.
Oh,
I am super happy. Yeah, with the overall product, I'm super happy.
Can you imagine if you started playing D2 and vanilla and you're like, what the hell has happened? It's a completely different game.
Yeah.
It's a completely different game from a month ago. Like,
yeah. I was thinking about that. How some people started in Destiny 2 and were like, well, you know, sure, the double primary thing. I don't really know what people are talking about. And then like this, like, which is Taken King next level. You know, like the evolution of Taken King. It's really fascinating, the evolution. I wonder how people are experiencing that. The people who came in during Destiny 2 for that first year.
I've heard some complaints, like, and I think they're valid. Like, a lot of people are a little pissed off about the infusion costs, the cost to infuse weapons. It's like, well, yeah, if you're a streamer, you've been no life in this game for a year, you've got like, tons of master cores, you got tons of legendary shards. If you play a little bit, it is a serious grind to get this stuff. Master cores in particular, legendary shards are right up there though. And it's daunting looking at this. Like, oh, I need 25 Alkane. I need, how many master cores? I need, is it 20 legendary shards?
Is it?
I don't even know because I've got like 5,000.
Yeah.
It's a lot of stuff. And like, if you've got a ton of it, it's not a big deal. If you don't, it's like, oh, well, we got to dismantle 5 weapons to infuse this one weapon.
So even if I didn't have a ton of stuff, this is kind of the kind of thing that I would enjoy because for me, it makes me think about what I'm infusing. Like, I've only infused maybe 2 things the entire time. The rest of it, I'm like, let me just see what light I get to. Let me see what kind of weapons I get. Let me see what I like. And I've just kind of left everything alone for now. When I start working on my God roll armor and all that stuff, then I will start doing that. But for now, I like having to think about what I'm doing and having that be meaningful, especially when I do get that full armor that I love and it's got all the perks that I love on it. I feel like it's going to mean more to me that I've put all that time into it.
Yeah.
I think their idea behind the current costs of things is exactly that. It's you collect gear, which raises your light, and you have like the smart loot system. So you just kind of hold on to something that's maybe not what you want to use in the end, but you're just using that just like sit in your inventory. And then when you find something that's like, okay, I really like this roll on these gauntlets or something, then if I infuse that, and you are, making that decision instead of just like infusing everything constantly. So even though I've had quite a few materials, that's kind of been my approach. But at the same time, it's like, you got to try to straddle that line. Maybe they could lower the cost of infusion from like 25 planetary materials to like 15 or something. That would be a nice gesture. And then maybe make it the exchange rate for, buying the master cores from Spider just a little bit more lenient. At the end of the day, I do think it's like, I do like the grindy aspects. I'd rather the game be a little too grindy than a little too easy, personally. But I think it's always going to be trying to find that middle ground. And I think overall, I feel like we have that progression and we have that investment. And, if you're coming from like a quote unquote real MMO, Destiny is still very easy, I think, in a lot of people's eyes. So it's just, people still don't know what Destiny is really. You have to play it. And because it's had so many ups and downs and different kind of moments in time where the economy has been entirely different, the systems have been so different, I think maybe now they're finally starting to settle into like, okay, we know what the game should be, where it should go, and the type of experience that you should get. I think they've done a great job in terms of, I feel like no matter, even if I'm playing 15 minutes or 15 hours, I feel like I am getting something out of, the time that I'm putting in. And that's, I'm always working towards something. You have the collections, you can see what's in the game. You can, go for bounties, you can go for light, you can go for just, to play some Crucible. And it's all like, okay, I'm enjoying it. I'm making
the titles now, like long term.
Right. Oh my God, titles. Yeah. That's going to be a grind eventually.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's interesting with the economy because like part of it is you're not supposed to infuse everything like right away. You're supposed to level up with the
Absolutely
game.
not.
Like it's
we know that though. We've learned that before.
Right. But I feel
if you came to Destiny new.
Yeah, exactly. Like coming from
Destiny,
D2 coming from vanilla D2, I think it has trained a lot of people to get the stuff quick, and then like that's what it is. You got your thing.
Infuse.
Now go kill
throw
some
into
stuff.
the vault.
Yeah.
Use the highest light stuff, or keep the highest light stuff on you so you can use whatever you want. But wait to infuse until you've kind of settled in a little bit.
Yeah. You just straight up need to level up, like get drops, like try to climb those light levels before you start making those investments, because I feel like they made it so it's a like you're really making a choice when you infuse things. If you're going to spend
even the Ace of Spades, which I want to use in everything right now, I've only done that twice. Like
same.
It's good enough at 10 light lower than what the activity is or what my max power is. It's good enough at 15, and then once it starts really feeling like it's drawing me back, then okay, I got this random pulse rifle that I don't really like. It's got weird sights and bad perks. It's now my highest light. Well, you know what? I can make the Ace of Spades my highest light.
Mm-hmm.
I'm more worried about mod components. How the hell do I get more mod components? I'm sitting on mine and I'm just like, I don't want to use any of them.
Right? Yeah.
So there are ways. Some intended, some maybe not intended.
They patched one of them today.
Was it the story thing?
The scout, was it the scout rifle?
I think it was a gambit weapon.
Okay.
Oh, okay.
Right.
That was Masterwork Cores, wasn't it?
Oh, was it Masterwork Cores?
I think it was a Masterwork Cores. Okay, so they're coming for me, guys.
Your ride's here.
I've exceeded the allotted time to be playing a video game. And I'm just trying to get some fresh air and okay. So what was I gonna say? Yes, there is a way to get endless mod components, which has been discovered. And what it is if you played Warmind and you have the Polaris Lance, the legendary version, the Braytech scout rifle, for some reason, every time you buy it and dismantle it, it gives you a mod component.
Really?
And so, and someone showed me that yesterday. I was like, wow. I mean,
I did not know.
So now, and it's like what? It's like 7 weapon parts and 7 shards. So it's an exchange, but it is consistent. Now, if you want to go about it differently, you can still farm for like the like year 1 armors and things, just doing old activities, and those can give you a chance for mod components. And they did put out in the patch the other day that they were increasing the drop rate of mods in general, and I have noticed that. Like basically, I didn't have maybe 1 or 2 weapons ever before.
I had bought 2 from the gunsmith like day 1, and those were the same 2 that were in my inventory for like 4 days.
Yeah, no, but like out of all the legendary gear that I got, it was like maybe 1 or 2 weapons had a mod on it. It was incredibly rare. Now it seems to be like they're more common, which is great. Same for armor. And then it's like any of the barons, whether it's a strike or it's a daily heroic mission, they like guarantee drop a legendary, and it's a very small pool. It's like a helmet, a chest armor, and then like 3 weapons. They're all set rolls. But if you get one of the 2 armor pieces, that guarantee has a mod on it.
Oh, it's a guaranteed mod?
It's a guaranteed mod. And the helmet will be the super regen mod, and the chest armor will be one of the 3 stats. So, and it's dependent on the class you're playing. If you're a hunter, the chest armor is a recovery. If you're a warlock, it's a resilience. And if you're a titan, it's mobility. Yeah. So there's a way, like, so you can grind, for example, the strike and the tangled shore, you can just do that, and at the end you kill the boss every time. Or if it's the daily heroic mission, this is what some people discovered. It was like the second day, and you could just keep playing that mission over, and every time you killed him, he would drop one of these. So it's like a 2-minute farm.
Yeah.
So, I don't know. I would assume that Bungie's aware of that, And maybe that's one of their ways.
DMG tweeted, he was like, well, I know what I'm firing all night. So I don't think he had a problem with that farm.
Right. I think that's good. I think it's good to have like some farms which are intended, because that is kind of an enjoyable experience, whether we go back to farming Omnigul. And yeah, maybe that wasn't intended, but it certainly brought some excitement and life to the game, or whether it's Slayer Ridge farming for the Imago Loop and the Nightfall. I think those things can add something to the game.
I think they're important.
But
honestly, I think those farms are important to the game. Like, that's one of the things that made Borderlands such a rich end game for Borderlands 2, is that you could farm those legendaries and get potential drops from specific areas. And I've always wanted Destiny to have angles like that. So like when you go,
I feel like they've always tried to like steer us to we want you to play the full strike, though. We don't want you just like glitching the boss over and over again, right? Like that's how every time we find a way to just glitch Omnigul, like they try and like, well, we fixed that, but we found a new way, so we're
trying to save some time here.
They've never made it so like, hey, this makes sense to farm something. They always want us to like do other things completely and hope for just complete random drops from other places. Yeah. Where having a little bit of focus for a farm is very exciting for players.
Yeah.
And to that point, I would say I actually wouldn't mind them bringing back the old Heroic Strike system where you had the keys and the chests, because that was a way to basically farm. Like I can do strikes. Eventually, I'll get a key, and then I can take that key to the strike where there's exclusive loot that I want, and I can put the key in at the end, and I have a really good chance of getting that item because there's only a few things in that pool.
Right. And with random rolls, like you're still going to do it multiple times, hoping to get like the fake bringer or the perfect roll on the grasp of Malik, or that's still like there's still a reason to keep going.
Absolutely.
Yeah. Guys, now that we all have Ace of Spades, do you think there's ever going to be a hand cannon that's better than Ace of Spades?
What do you do?
Last word. Last word is the only gun I think at this point that would take me away from the Ace of Spades.
It has to be like a year one last word, though.
Oh yeah, it's got to be good. It's got to be good, and I want to be hitting 111s in the hip fire, baby. Come on, I'm very impressed. You know, there's a few weapons. I was talking about this with some people yesterday. It's like they've been able to bring some D1 exotics into D2 and not just copy paste them. Like they've really reinvented them and made them fresh and exciting. And I would say, like Telesto is one of those. Ace of Spades, 100%. And that's
new,
a very
though,
exciting
isn't it
thing.
trouble? Like at launch when we jump in and all of a sudden it's a Mida multi-tool meta and everybody's like, are you kidding me? We just left this behind.
Right.
So it's
and that's like I think Mida is one of those weapons. Just like it's very meat and potatoes. You know what you're expecting. It doesn't have an exotic fantasy associated with it in the same way. And I think that's why they did bring it back, because that was the type of game that they were trying to make something very balanced and a little bit different. Didn't work out, but now they're like, let's lean into that badass power fantasy. And Ace of Spades, certainly, I enjoyed using that in D1. It's a really solid hand cannon, but this is a whole new level.
Yeah,
this thing's crazy.
Like that it's a little bit of Hawk Moon, and it's a little bit of a few different types of weapons, but it is 100% awesome. I can't stop using it.
Same.
It's I hope it spells good news for the future.
It's so rewarding, right? It's just like having that Firefly and Outlaw proc
explosion.
So you get the explosion, plus you get that super fast reload with the little spinning animation. You get the six powerful bullets.
Animation.
It really does. Like everything about it is just so good, and like no matter where you're using it, basically it's just a wonderful gun. It's got good range. It's got great power. It's just a solid freaking weapon, man.
Yeah, it's good across the board.
It makes me feel like suddenly I have Fatebringer in an arc strike again in D1.
But it's better than Fatebringer.
I know, that's the thing. Like, but it conjures that feeling that I had of playing D1, killing ads, and just being like, damn, look at those explosions. This gun is amazing. And look at that fast reload. Like, it's got all that and then some. Just like you said, like some Hawk Moon, some Fatebringer. It's an incredible gun.
Yeah, it's like all of those classic D1 hand cannons rolled into one hand cannon.
Yeah, it's got weight. It's got like it's sticky too. It doesn't feel like it. Feels like the hitbox is perfect for it, for a Destiny hand cannon. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's just got that special sauce to it. It works. It feels good, and that's exactly why I was like, you know what, this feels like a D1 hand cannon.
Yes,
and I mean that like in the best way possible. Right. This is back, and I love it. I
like that you got to work a little bit to get it too.
Oh,
sure. You gotta put in some effort. Like it's a little bit hard to get 5 invader kills if you're not triple wreck. It's a little,
it's hard for me too.
You gotta get 25 headshot kills in the Crucible, and then you do like a little quest where you find the caches, and you do a mission that's got some feelings to it. You gotta put a little effort in. It's not Thorn year 1 effort, but it's effort.
For some people, the invader kills is Thorn year 1 level of effort.
I mean, especially with Sleeper, it's a pain in the ass. Especially if they have the catalyst for Sleeper. Have you tried to outstrafe a dude with the catalyst for Sleeper? And he's just like, Sleeper has the most giant hitbox on it. They could aim it at your very tiny toe and they will murder you. It's
all I know is that is the most skilled gun in the game right now.
Do you think they should ban Sleeper Simulant from the playlist?
I don't think they should
ban any. I think banning stuff sets a really scary precedent.
They did it with Rat King.
Did they?
But that was because it was bugged, though. I feel like this is going to be, Wormhusk. Oh, people are only using Wormhusk in the Crucible. We want it banned. I feel like it's just going to then start this conversation.
I don't think they would ever do that because they want everyone to use everything in every activity, right? Yeah. And I totally understand that. The issue is then you have an activity where one particular weapon is really, really hot. But how do you rein that in without just nerfing the weapon and then affecting everything else?
Yeah.
The problem is just like in just the way that the invasions work, the way that you're getting heavy very often. You have so many perks that can give you more heavy. Often I'll find myself with just like, all right, I have 14 sleeper shots. I'm gonna just constantly be invading and killing.
Yeah.
And I don't know. I don't know what the solution is. Like some people are like, oh, well, they could like.
Yeah, balancing around
this combination.
So balancing around the PvP of Gambit is absolutely what they need to not do for anything, because that's essentially what got us into year 1 of D2. Like a lot of choices were made to balance around the PvP experience, and like it does not work for Destiny. You need to have the power fantasy. But just like I said, it's really hot in there. They need to do something. For me personally, I think it's the ammo. You just get too much ammo. If they can do it per playlist type of stuff. So just in that playlist, you only get like 1 or 2 shots when you pick up a brick, regardless of your armor perks.
Yeah.
I think that would help it at least.
Mm-hmm. Maybe if it's possible, again, I don't know what kind of granularity they have, but yeah, cut back the ammo a little bit, but maybe boost its PvE damage to compensate. So you're not just like, oh, well, now I don't have the capacity to do a lot of boss damage or something.
That's a good point, yeah.
And just something like that, I think that could really work, because anything else like, oh, you can't use your heavy while you go through the invade. Well, that just makes the home team have an advantage, because they're going to be sitting there with a sleeper waiting for you.
Yeah,
right.
I've heard a lot of different hot takes, and I think that is probably
the best solution. It's a hard problem.
It is.
Sure. Yeah.
I think it's with Sleeper, it's really good at boss damage. It one-shot body shots. You get 4 bricks, so you can go over and kill an entire team by just picking up power ammo. So it kind of hits everything. I think if you take away, even if someone came through with 2 and they could kill 2 of your teammates with a body shot, it's like, okay, at least it's not the entire team.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I think ammo is probably the best way to go with it.
Yeah. That's a tough one, honestly.
It is.
If the thing didn't body shot kill,
is there a way they could make it just not body shot guardians? Like, so you have
probably
to headshot with
it? Linear fusion rifles don't body shot kill. You still have to get a headshot.
But you gotta keep the damage in PvE.
Right.
Well, what you could do is just make like the actual precision damage be high, but lower the body shot damage. That way, you're still getting a lot of damage on PvE targets if you're hitting crits, but it's just not going to body shot, right?
Problem is the feel of that gun is that hitbox, and that hitbox is enormous.
The hitbox is massive. You don't even have to. You don't even have to try.
Just like
anywhere
that's
near
a
the
headshot.
guy.
Wow, okay.
You're like, oh, I hit him. Okay, cool.
That's true. That's true.
Trouble. Before you came on, we talked about subclasses. What's your favorite new super?
Mm-hmm.
What's your favorite new subclass?
Oh man, so when they announced Forsaken, and they came out with like a 10-minute Vidoc, just detailing all these things, and there were so many announcements there, and then when we learned that there's gonna be 9 new supers, I was really excited. I was like, this is unexpected. This is really interesting. And when we learned more about it, it's like, okay, they're really trying to do things that are a little bit more interesting, a little bit more synergistic, and bringing some old one backs, but then doing some entirely new supers. I haven't played all of them, but I will say that the new Solar Hunter is amazing. I love
it.
I love the flaming knives. It is just I did not think I was gonna like it. It was the least interesting of the 3 to me. I was like, oh well, spectral blades. They're bringing back Blade Dancer. Turns out it's just a giant flaming turd. And then you have the spinning arc staff. That was like, oh, I can be Genji. This is great. You do the move and your super depletes in 2 seconds. So those might need some tuning. But yes, whoever is responsible for the Way of 1,000 Cuts, I love it. It is, especially like with some of the striker and the daily heroic modifiers, like Brawler, you can just get infinite throwing knives. You throw in the Ophidius
throwing knives,
you get 2.
It.
I just
They're
throwing
so
knives
fun.
left and right. It's great. You get a throwing knife. You
hit the button and they instantly shoot out too. It's like there's no delay to it. There's no like wind up.
Fast.
It's very quick. They travel very quick. It just feels fun.
Yeah, the animation's cool. Where you're doing like a card trick.
The fan of knives. It's
I love it.
The other 2 that I really am having a great time with is the new Void Warlock.
That's very fun.
And again, I saw it and I was like, meh. Okay, he just runs around, farting clouds of death. I guess that's kind of cool. But no, here's the thing. It has, because it's a Void. You have Blink.
Yep.
Blink got a little bit of a buff recently, so you don't have that long cooldown on the radar. And Blink is actually, it's not as good as year 1 Blink, which I still would love to see them buff it back to that. But because it's such a unique type of movement and a lot of people can use it, you can really throw off players in Crucible, and you can juke them, and you can do all kinds of fun things with it. Then couple that with it has a grenade, or the grenade. Now you have your regular grenade that you get to pick, but when you charge it, just like the top tree, instead of just like doing a better grenade, it has a unique ability that it has this like a ranged grenade attack, and it goes out kind of like in a horizontal line. And what people don't know,
I was watching your stream, Triple, when you were.
Oh, were you?
Yeah, like I think somebody else had it, right? And they were using it, and you're like, "Oh my god!" You just start giggling.
I couldn't.
So I look at the screen. I'm like, "What is this?"
this charge grenade one shots enemies, and it can hit multiple because it's like
it's like
an
AoE.
Right.
And what's so nice about that is like if you want to run like a sniper, this is a great like anti-shotgun, like just straight up. I can put a stop to someone rushing me, or just in general, it's just really good. And then the melee does like, I think the highest damage of any of the melees. It's an insane amount of damage.
Secondary explosion.
Right. You hit them, and then it attaches like a little bomb to them, and then it goes off, and it's
also
very lethal.
It straight up like shoves them back. Like there's a huge force that gets applied. Like there's an impact force.
They go flying.
Yeah, they get like oh my god, I got hit by that.
It's kind of like the
does that work on teammates
wind.
like Solar Wind did?
I don't think so. I think it has to actually proc.
Teammates.
Yeah. Too bad. That's too bad.
Yeah, the actual melee charge has to proc, and then it applies that force push, which is really cool. And once again, it's funny that like the warlocks can actually like shove enemies, and the titans are like, poof, poof.
Just beating them to a pulp. Yeah, and then the super is really fun because you can have 2 blinks, right? You have your subclass blink, and then there's an ionic blink type deal that you can use in the super. So it's got a lot of maneuverability and
you got vertical, horizontal, and you're like constantly like blinking, like in different
Yeah,
directions.
it's just like a giant AOE just damage bubble. So
It's big.
It's great.
Yeah.
I'm having so much fun with that. And then the last one is the new Arc Striker, the Wida missile.
So good.
So fun. So fun. But yeah, those three for me so far, I'm having so much.
The old arc is fun too. Like what they did to change that has been a lot of fun too. Like the return of shoulder charge has been a blast.
Yeah,
Yeah,
I think that's still the most consistent
that's-
when you're rocking the helm or the instrumental skill fort. But like the death from above, it's like you have your mini super and then you have a big super constantly, as long as you're getting kills with that thing.
In PvE, that mini super feels like a big super. Like it does serious damage.
Kills a lot of stuff. Yeah.
It doesn't one shot in PvP though, right?
No, it doesn't.
No, it does a lot of damage. Doesn't one shot, but if you have Syntheseps on, and you see a group of enemies, and you death from above down, by the time that you hit the ground and explode, it will proc the Syntheseps perk, giving you increased damage, and you will one shot them.
Shit!
But that's just a very specific scenario.
Right.
Yeah.
But it's
if
still
it happens,
cool. It's still cool.
awesome.
Right. It's like, oh my goodness. You know, it has a cool montage clip of that.
Yeah.
It's cool.
Yeah, I still feel like the shoulder charge tree is the best for the striker.
No.
I love the way the missile or like the code of the
It's
missile,
just
whatever.
fun to missile.
Yeah, it's fun firing that, man. But like in practicality, when you're using the skull for it, like you get health back on super kills with that, and you also get health back on your obviously your shoulder charge and all that, and
you get double grenades.
It's it's a tough one. I will say the code of the commander after you fully unlock it and have all the void. It's for the Captain America, the new one.
Oh, is that the big wall? The new big
you can
wall?
do the big
It's
wall,
cool.
but your neutral game is really good. Like every void ability, including when you're in the super, attaches these void bomb detonators that like slowly do like a detonation spin type of thing on enemies, and it creates like its own bloom that attaches to other enemies if they get hit. So like if there's a group of thrall, one of them die to one of those detonators, it spreads it to the other thrall. They die, it keeps spreading it.
Yeah.
As long as they get hit by it and creating a bloom effect. And that can get procced by a melee, a grenade, or super. It's really good.
That's cool.
Yeah.
Do we have one of these for our raid? I don't know.
I
if
do.
we Oh, you do? You made one?
I made one. Oh, and you get health
It's
back
honestly
also
it's
from those
really
kills.
cool having one of them on your team. I was doing the blind well with one, and it's just standing there and blocking all the damage. You're getting weapons of light. It's cool.
Yeah, the shield is really cool too.
I like it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The giant Reinhardt shield does a lot of damage, and you can put that shield up, just go stand in a tank, like in a strike, and it'll just kill it.
Wow.
Oh, really?
Quickly. You just stand it. Or when I was like just messing around in private games, like let's say I had like I made a terrible decision. I'm playing a melee super, like a spectral blade, and you are there. You put your shield up. I not only can I not hit you, but I just die very quickly
because you're in the shield.
I'm trying to hit you into the shield, and you just it is
so
so
it'll
strong.
protect against a melee super.
Yeah, that's
cool.
very very good.
Yeah.
Very
That's
good.
awesome.
Will it protect against a Nova Bomb?
I didn't test it.
You
but,
could
one
slide
would
into the
assume-
Nova Bomb and send it back.
There you go with those
True.
boots.
You could do that too.
There's some really, honestly, the exotics for Titan they seem really cool this time around.
Exotics all around just seem like exotic.
Yeah.
And they're hard to get.
Exotically rare because
Yeah, they're very rare.
I have easily over 100 hours in Forsaken so far. I've not gotten a single new armor piece, but I have gotten, I think now 5 year 1 exotics. I did get the Queen Breakers. Yeah. So I haven't gotten any new armors, and I got the Queen Breakers, but I haven't got any of the new weapons. And I'm completely okay with exotics being rare.
Yeah.
I prefer that, right? I want it to be an exciting thing, but at the same time, it'd be like, could they perhaps maybe weight them toward new things to have a better chance of getting something new? That would be nice.
The old ones that are dropping now though have like the new perks.
Yep.
Right. They do drop at like a higher light as well, so that can help you a little bit. And if it's an armor piece, then it does have a chance to have like a completely different perk roll, which is great. I just keep getting these weapons, so it's useless to me. But
You know, it's
I would also like go ahead.
You know, it's amazing though about these exotics, and this is something that I think this is the first time ever for Destiny is that they will literally drop from anywhere. You can kill a thrall, and an exotic engram can pop out of it, and it's exciting when you see that happen.
Yes. And we don't have to worry about 3 of coins or any of this other stuff. It does feel more natural and more wholesome. I had a sunshot yesterday from just like a regular taken enemy just running around in a story mission. I was like, oh my goodness. But I also got baited when I was doing a strike. I got an exotic, but it was the sparrow.
I got the ghost from a nightfall. I
forgot that there was a dang strike sparrow. What a troll!
I got the ghost. I was so mad.
That is hilarious.
I deleted it right away. I'm so upset.
I've gotten, I think 2 world drop exotics, and then I think 2 from power engrams. And one of them, the only one was the Queen Breakers, and it was in Blindwell, and it dropped for me. And I was like, oh my God.
Wait, you've never seen an exotic engram drop?
I've seen 2 so far drop.
Oh, okay. So it was a exotic engram. It was a yellow engram.
It was an exotic engram from a red enemy. You know, like that's what's amazing is that you're not seeing it from a chest. You're not seeing it from like a public event chest or something like that.
Right.
Because
you're not looking for it, right? You just kill a random enemy. You're like, whoa, what's that?
Suddenly you're like, okay, exotic
you're like,
time.
wait, is that yellow or is it smoky in here?
Yeah, exactly. Is there a color filter on or is that actually exotic? And then you see it pop up. So I got the Queen Breakers at the Blindwell doing that, and that it freaked me out because I was like, what?
You got the bow in the well? You didn't have to do the
Queen Breakers, from it.
You didn't have to do the spider bounties.
Well, apparently only the Lord of Wolves drops from that.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, I thought both of them dropped as well, but no, I got the Queen Breakers.
I need to do those.
Yeah.
I know, me too. I was getting murdered by one today.
Yeah.
I was really good with it.
But this is
Lord of Wolves seems pretty good, honestly.
That change, having those exotics, I know they're really rare, and just like Triple said, 100 hours, like you feel like you're getting shafted, but like when it actually drops, man, that's exciting.
It is exciting.
I can name where I got my exotics.
Yeah.
I mean,
absolutely.
You know, it's just like in Destiny 1, year 1, I can name it every exotic where it dropped, and this is got that same feeling. You know, it's like they are rare, they are exotic, they feel exotic when you get them. It's not like Destiny 2 year 1 exotics that felt pretty normal. Like there were a lot of times they weren't in my loadout at all. You know, they feel exotic. The armor feels exotic. They do really cool stuff, and
I gotta say
they're rare.
I gotta say, Queenbreaker, I kind of wish was in the special slot because right now
where is it?
It's heavy.
It's heavy.
So it's sleeper or Queenbreaker.
Right.
That's a tough call.
Well, I mean, it's sleeper. Just straight
and you're
up.
like, well, no, it's not.
Sleeper does way more damage, has a bigger hitbox, all that. Queenbreaker is kind of like a you like it or love it type of thing because the scope takes up so much of the center. So like as soon as you ADS, you have a crap load of scope in front of you that kind of blocks your vision.
Right.
But it's a very sticky gun, and it retains like the positives of the D1 version.
The only time I ever used Queenbreaker was in PvP, though. I don't really use sleeper in PvP.
I mean, you can one-shot body.
I don't have a catalyst sleeper.
I've noticed more people using it in PvP now that they've realized what it does.
I tried it a few times in PvP. It's strong. I wouldn't say like, if I'm playing for money, I'm necessarily going to run it, but it's really good. It's got a huge hitbox, and it has a new perk.
Blinds, right?
It blinds enemies. Yeah. So if you don't happen to get the one shot, it'll blind them. So that's kind of cool for flashbang. But I mean, on the topic of exotics, what do you guys think about getting back the ability to re-roll the perks on exotic armors?
I'd be okay with that. With how rare they are, I'd be okay with that.
Right, and that's my thought. It's like how, unless
I think the stats
is really generous.
I think the stats need to be re-rolled. I don't necessarily think like the actual the perks like Ash's assets and stuff like that being re-rolled. I think like being able to re-roll things that are the basic stats, those need to be re-rollable because it comes down to one of those things like why have those even locked in? Like it makes sense if you got a piece of armor that has a specific perk that you want.
That's one of the things right now that is upsetting about Forsaken is that the game came out and we're like, hey, I'm a hunter and I can only get a max of 4 or 5 recovery because all my armors are locked to like either armor or mobility, right?
Yeah.
But warlocks, they could have 10 recovery. Titans could also have very high recovery. So what they did is they put in the Masterworks, and then you could reforge, they re-roll the Masterwork, and that would change the stat distribution, and that was great. So now I can pick the armor I like, cosmetically, and then I can have the good stats. I have that choice. In Forsaken, for some reason, I don't know why this is, but hopefully it changes. Is again, it's just locked, right? If you get the Crucible set of armor, it's always going to have the same resilience, mobility, and recovery. So that is really frustrating because there's some armors now that I really like, but I'm just not going to use them because I'm not going to run around with 2 recovery in any activity. That's ridiculous.
It is weird how they went back to that. Like we had that issue in D2 launch, and then they were like, okay, we get it. We'll fix that for you. And then they're like, let's go back to that. Like after all these great decisions.
Especially with there being random rolls, like why not just randomly roll that too, right?
Or give us the option to just spend materials to roll that. I do think that the unique perks specifically should stay as world drops because there's going to be some, like if for raids you're going to want heavy drops, for PvP you're going to want like shotgun related perks and all that, and I think it's going to be really easy to re-roll that stuff to get those if you can just spend it. So I think those are better.
No, I don't think the perks themselves should be reforgeable, but the stats themselves you should be able to at least have them drop random, so I could
if they drop random,
more
I
of
think
that armor.
Yeah.
Like that would be fine too.
Yeah.
On the topic of exotics, though, I think because the exotics are so rare, I wouldn't mind that the glass needles return, and then you can completely change the perks on them, and then maybe make it cost a lot, right? It's not something you're going to do a ton, but maybe like 5 times a week I could do it or something. Just because at this point I don't see myself getting a whole lot of exotic armors unless Xur just sells. I think maybe that's where Xur comes in handy again. And maybe there's a solution there. But
are the faded engrams coming back? Are they gone forever?
I think they're gone, right?
I think they're gone.
They always drop
were gone
old
this
stuff.
past week.
How happy were you guys to see Xur bring absolutely nothing?
I was relieved.
Same.
I was relieved. I'm like, I don't
too.
want everyone, and especially if it was like something broken. I didn't want like the experience to be tainted. I want there to be that mystique and that that just amazing feeling of back when I got, I don't know, Last Word for the first time, or the Hawkwind for the first time out of just a random chest or something. And I think Xur, and by an extension of that, the 3 of Coins really diminished that.
3 coins is terrible.
The pinnacle rewards of the game.
Right.
And I think that they should have that.
Yeah, the 3 coins diminished the value of exotics, but it also added a chore to just like constantly clicking a button to make sure, I can get an exotic now. Like,
what happened was they listened to the people saying, God, I hate how rare these things are. I'm so like demoralized by the fact that RNG is screwing me. And they're like, well, here's a 3 coin. And then something was like, oh, wait, this isn't better. This just took away the experience of finding that stuff. Like, I feel like they learned their lesson. They need to respect the excitement of getting the drop in the game.
Pope Bear is in chat, and he said, I wish they sold all the new stuff for money, real money.
That's what it's like on the Korean server.
Right?
Yeah.
Oh, Korea's going to be eligible for World's First, too.
For the first time, yeah.
Wow.
They're paid to win it all.
I guess we know who's winning.
Can you imagine if you're like, oh, okay.
Really? Interesting. They're eligible?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And they can just pay for power engrams.
Yeah.
They can pay for Xur's new exotic.
They don't have Xur. It's like a different lady.
It's a lady. It's like Luna or something. Or Yuna. I think it's Yuna.
Yeah. Huh.
Much sexier version of Xur.
Yeah,
It's
exactly.
very different.
You take that back,
I'm
sir.
just saying.
You take
Hey,
that
I don't know what
back.
you're into, Pope.
Tentacles are nice. Okay. Yeah.
Oh boy.
I think.
Yeah, they can't get powerful stuff, but they can get
they
like a new exotic that's good. it's like going to Xur, right? And say Xur's selling the best Titan exotic or whatever. You can go there and spend real money to get it, but it's not going to give you any power gains, but you will get that exotic.
So loot, but no power. Interesting. Yeah. That's better. I mean, if you could buy straight up power engrams, I would nullify that right away.
That would be pretty bad.
5 prime engrams for $9.99.
Yeah, exactly.
Today.
I'd be tempted.
How
right
many
now.
of us would get?
I'd be tempted hard. The race for world's first is taking on like a different air this time around, right? It's like Bungie announcing like the title belts. Like you're gonna get in-game stuff for being world's first. You're gonna get in-game stuff for completing on day one. You're gonna get out of game like real life stuff. If you're the world's first team, you're gonna get like a it's like a professional wrestling style belt, right? Like a champion belt.
That's what it looked like.
Yeah, and I don't know. There's also been like a little bit of bickering online. It feels like about like what's acceptable for like a world's first competing team to do, and
if you exploited anything in the game, like should you be ashamed and all that? Yeah.
Should you be ashamed?
Right. So we had the raid glitch. Like people found a way to glitch into the raid and get to is the first chest, right?
Something like that.
The first chest.
Yeah, it was a chest, which gave raid gear.
Yeah, and like some people got the Queensbreaker, not the Queensbreaker. What's the Queen's sniper?
Supremacy.
Some people got the Supremacy. Some people got some other like really cool looking stuff and some raid, and it came at high light level. So.
Was it higher light level?
I thought that remade characters and have full sets of raid gear now.
Are you serious?
Get out of here! Really?
Yes, there are. And,
no shit.
And so
that's
on
hilarious.
one hand, it's like okay, if they pick up this gear, whatever, that's great. The issue I have is that the armor can come with a mod which will help you in the raid.
Yeah,
that's the issue I have.
An advantage.
Sure.
Is this the same mod that Banshee 44 sold, or is it something different?
No, it's a different
It's a raid
one.
mod.
It's a unique mod.
Right?
It's a raid specific.
Sure.
What does it do specifically? Does anybody know?
There were a few of them, right?
Do we want to talk about that?
Is that really spoiler?
That could be a surprise.
Yeah,
I think it could be.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. Yeah.
Yeah. We don't need.
We'll
to.
talk
It's a
about next
raid
week.
mod. I think
We'll talk about it next week.
So,
I think saying it's a raid specific mod is enough.
That's fine. Yeah.
Know that it's going to be good for the raid.
And so something that is potentially going to give you an advantage in the raid, and we have a world's first race, then I think that's starting to affect the integrity of it. And with Bungie essentially giving more weight to this race and giving it more validation, and I think that's great because the first raid, the race, all that is some of the most fun and exciting things that's ever happened to Destiny, and the fact that they're really going all into it and trying to promote it and make it a better part of the experience. I think that's awesome. But with that comes like maybe a better need for some either rules or guidance.
That's it. It's up to Bungie at this point, right? They kind of need to they need to kind of put the rules down. Like, hey, look, we know that if you throw millions of people at some code, basically some programming, that you're gonna find bugs, you're gonna find glitches, you're gonna find ways through. Here's the deal: if you find these things and you exploit them, then you run the risk of not being qualified to be rewarded for world's first, or possibly losing your light level, right? Like if they said that, then anybody who wants to do world's first is going to be thinking twice about a chest or doing the prime engram glitch, or because it's hard to make these decisions, right? What is an exploit? Is using the Telesto in the blind well an exploit? Kind of, right? You're getting through that activity much faster because you found like a glitch in the code. Is that as bad as using the prime engram glitch where you just let them go to your postmaster and collect prime engrams? Well, I don't know, man. That's like a sliding scale. Is that as bad as glitching through a wall and getting to the raid chest?
I think getting stuff that you're not supposed to have until you enter an activity that isn't even available yet is just straight up wrong.
I think
they should
categorically different.
Yeah, they should have just straight up removed it out of the if they wanted to be nice, they should have removed it from their inventory. And instead they were like,
so is buying and reselling the Braytech scout rifle, I mean, you're not supposed to have access to that many mods this early in the game. Is that Like, so all of these things are glitches or exploits to some extent, right?
But like I said, Brian,
like
where
does the line?
You're not
where's
supposed
the
to have
line
radar.
drawn? If Bungie came out and said categorically, if you use an exploit to get ahead, you may lose the right to be world's first, even if you technically got through the raids first.
They'd have to be very specific about what it is, because there's a few things, right? There's farming the story mission. Like, is that an exploit that it's dropping that, or is that just the way it's supposed to be? We don't actually know. Like, we don't know what is considered an exploit. I think they'd have to come out and say, this is an exploit. This, as soon as it happens, you'd have to have that set rule of, if you use an exploit that gets you ahead for the raid, you will not be crowned world's first. And then as exploits come out, that have to be like, yes, this is definitely an exploit.
Yeah.
But if Bungie's silent about it and doesn't punish people who have done it, then it's no holds barred. Why wouldn't you? Right. If you want to be world's first,
they haven't done anything now.
Go get that fucking chest. Go use that Prime Engram thing, because being world's first
everyone else is going to do it.
Everybody else is going to do it.
They're going to do it. And
if you want to be competitive,
rules come out,
this is the
they
problem.
lay down the law. That I completely agree. Like, if it's in the game, basically, it's fair, because they didn't see these bugs or these exploits or whatever, and so the onus is on them to solve the issue. And then if they feel that it's necessary to punish the players, then do it. And in the case of the raid chest, I think the best thing that they could have done was simply lock items that people got from the chest until the raid comes out, like the day after or something, because they have the ability to, they know who has those items, and they can lock items because they did it with the Rat King, and I think that would have been a fair thing.
Or lock any items that they had fused using that material.
Sure. So I don't know.
See, this is the thing. Like, before World's First was like, okay, it's just, you got World's First. But now Bungie has added, you are guaranteed to get that new exotic gun if you're a World's First. That's a big deal. You're guaranteed to get the emblem if you complete it in 24 hours. You get the belt. And then you also have that jacket that you can get if you do it before Tuesday. So they're adding like a lot of rewards to this thing now. And I think if they're going to be stepping it up, where it's not just, oh, hey, look, we completed it first. It's, we get stuff from this.
Yeah.
They need to start being a little bit more serious about the world's first race.
Yeah,
it's not just the rewards like that, too. It's the financial gains of like being the world's first, right? It's like, you get on that leaderboard and Bungie's tweeting out your raid, and all of a sudden people are tuning into your YouTube videos or your stream, and like there's like a financial aspect to, well, I really want to get, I'm gonna do everything I can to get my team to that world's first position. Because
but that can backlash though. If everybody knows, like when the coil glitching was happening, like people had a big old crap about that,
That's
so
true.
I don't know if that necessarily that can equate to somewhat financial gains, but like I think that's a side effect, really. Like, I think it comes down to the fact that Bungie has always been really lackadaisical about this stuff. People have DDoSed in trials, like, ad nauseum. And they've been famous on YouTube for DDoSing, and Bungie hasn't done anything for it for, like, a couple years, for God's sakes. And it's like, I would like to see Bungie get really stringent on this stuff and backlash people. Like, Rockstar straight up resets accounts to level 1 if you get caught glitching or doing something exploitive in their games. Yeah, like they take your stuff away.
And we're not
reset
even
you to
asking
1.
for that, right?
Yeah,
we're just saying you just can't be qualified for world's first. You can, like, even if you keep your stuff, you just can't get all the rewards for world's first.
I think at the very least they should have just locked the gear, just straight up. And they need to be more communicative about it. Just be like, hey, we discovered that people are doing this. If you do this, these are going to be the consequences. So And so they can just.
But they need to say that ahead of time too. It's like it's too late.
They need to. Yeah.
It's too late now to say that, because it's like
I think going forward they might approach all of this differently at release.
Yeah.
And then like just on a related topic, can they please hire some of these people glitching so they can test some of this stuff? Because I mean, the way that they're getting to the raid chest, it's like they're glitching out of the map in the same method that's been done for like 4 years now, using swords to get places that they're not supposed to. I'm sure there's a lot of things that make it difficult to plug all these holes and things, but it does also feel like people are doing the same glitches that they've been ever since Vault of Glass.
Mm-hmm.
And if there's a way that they can take care of these things earlier, that would be terrific. Again, I don't I don't know all the what goes into doing that, and it may be incredibly hard, and it probably is.
It is incredibly hard. I mean,
please hire some of these famous glitchers.
You throw 1,000,
they might make it easier.
Even if you had 1,000 play testers, they'd never be able to test everything that millions and millions of players are going to be able to test. And then, one player, he's like, "Oh, I found my way out of the map," and he posted it on Reddit. And then the next guy sees that, and he's like, "Well, I'm going to spend the next fucking 24 hours just bouncing around in here, walking on invisible walls." And oh shit, 36 hours later, we have a raid chest.
Alternatively, hopefully they can just lock future raid chests until the raid
That'd probably
is out.
be a good idea.
Maybe that'll solve some.
That would solve it right there. Just straight up lock the rewards.
Just lock any activity, anything that you're not supposed to be doing.
Yeah, well, it doesn't make sense. Why can't they just have like a blanket lock on all potential gear that shouldn't be in the game yet? And then when that thing unlocks,
though, it's like, what about the prime engram glitch, where people were just kind of abusing the system to?
Here's the thing about the prime engram glitch, though. That actually hurts them in the long run because they don't get prime engrams.
Who cares about the long run?
Yeah, but okay.
We're looking to get into the raid and beat the raid as fast as we can.
So apparently, if you do this glitch, they're all going to lock at a certain level, and then you're not going to get prime engrams after that. So.
For 2 to 3 weeks.
Yeah, for 2 to 3 weeks.
Who cares? You're still going to have...
It depends what comes out, right? Because we haven't seen a lot of the game. So say if someone gets World's First, and yeah, you're getting a lot from World's First. Absolutely. But we don't know what else is coming. There's stuff in the well that hasn't come. There's strikes that hasn't come. There's so much that hasn't come that maybe
theoretical heroic mode.
Right. Like maybe those people can reach 560, but maybe you have to be like 580 for this well thing, and they can't reach it and they can't do it. So I don't know. It really depends. Because I saw the same thing, and I was like, well, they don't care. They're just gonna get to their best raid level.
Literally the emptiest threat I've ever seen for somebody who's just trying to get into the raid as fast. Yeah,
I think that's what it comes down to, though. Is Bungie needs to get a little bit of a spine and just tell these people, if you're going to glitch in our game, you could get a consequence, and it especially needs it in PvP.
I don't even think it's got to be that drastic a consequence. Like you could be disqualified from a World's First.
Right.
Your light level could be reset.
Yeah.
It's not like we're banning you from the game.
We don't need to do that.
Look, we don't want you cheating.
Yeah.
And we're not going to reward cheaters.
Yeah. Especially when there's a title involved.
Amen to that.
Yep. Well, it's exciting to know that a new raid is going to be out tomorrow.
It sure is.
Yes.
Yeah, it is.
In like,
are we going in feeling good about our light level, or are we
not really?
So speculation is that it's going to be 550 for the door. I think it's probably going to be like
recommended.
Yeah, recommended 550. So I think you're probably going to open it. You probably get a drop from the door, and then I think the majority is probably going to be like 560 to 570, and I think the boss itself is probably going to end at like 570, 580. I think.
You think it's gonna be that high?
I really do. I
think it's gonna be 520 to get in, and like recommended
520.
Yeah,
no.
I think you'll be able to get in. Open the door at 520.
The Nightfall is 540.
550
recommended.
Yeah, the recommended I think is 550, and then like the last boss will be 560 or 570.
I think.
I think it's gonna be high. I think the last boss is gonna be higher than that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What was the delta for Spire? How bad was that guy? What was his name?
Valkahur.
Rock's dick face.
This is some Val.
Kahur or something or another.
Well, and then there's also the thing where it's going to have, I think, more bosses than they've ever had, and presumably we're going to be getting a lot of drops through the raid.
Right.
Hopefully,
and there will most likely be very powerful drops, which should help us.
That is a thing that used to happen that doesn't seem to happen as much anymore, right? I remember Taken King, we leveled up during the raid. We actually got short stopped. We couldn't do enough damage to Oryx, so we ran a second set of characters through the raid, got more good drops, and then we're able to beat the raid.
Nice. Yeah. So
that's what I'm hoping.
If that's going to be changing at all, or exactly. There's very little we do know about the raid, and that's exciting. I love the raid. I love going in blind. It's one of the greatest things I think I've ever experienced in a game. So all the whatever moderate controversy about glitches and exploits and stuff. I am so unbelievably excited.
Same.
And,
it's one of the best things.
I just
figuring that shit out with your fire team is like,
yeah,
you're trying to figure out an encounter. You're trying to like, how do we trigger this event? You see the end screen and you're trying to decode like what the stuff on the end screen actually means.
Right.
And I love that. And plus you spending a bunch of time with your friends and just having a good time. And
or like when there's a raid perk on your armor and you think it's to do with the raid. Do you remember
I don't know what you're talking about.
When we were in the raid and we're calling out a buff that happened and we're like,
not ringing any bells. That was going on for like 2 hours.
It was going on for a while.
Oh man.
But I also think that, and this is not a controversial opinion at all, Dreaming City is the coolest location Bungie's ever made.
Yep.
And I can't wait to see what they're gonna do with that in a raid. I'm just blown away just riding around.
We got
my
the
Sparrow
raid
Patrol.
trailer, right?
Yeah.
Like, you guys saw the raid trailer. It's really short. Like we saw some clips though. Definitely
There's
taking a
some
fight.
teasers.
Definitely.
Yeah,
At least some badass taking stuff going on down there.
Yeah. I can't wait to see it.
I think it's gonna have us going between ascendant and non-ascendant realms.
Yeah,
which is gonna be really fun.
Yeah, you know the public event where the Scorn show. Yeah, so when you do heroic on the public event by Petra, and like the you have to shoot the blights, and you're protecting it with the arc charge, and you turn it heroic. Everybody gets taken to the ascendant realm in that.
Yeah,
so cool.
It's amazing.
So
it's like
cool.
it's the best public event they've made because of that right there.
Oh, I love the ascendant realm so much.
Yeah.
I had some problem.
I feel like I hope that we get a lot of that in the raid, where we're in the Dreaming City and
I feel
suddenly
like
we're torn between worlds.
Like even
you know?
splitting up the teams, and it's like some people get taken and they have to find a way out. Would be really cool. Maybe
Bring
Tolan's in there,
flashbacks
be a little sparky boy.
Yes.
Showing us where
Vault
to go.
of Glass when we had to go into the portals and making call outs, and I think I'm so excited. And Spire, I have to say, was one of the best things they've ever made in terms of a boss encounter. That's still just fun to play to me, and I can't wait to see how they're going to one up what they've done in the past.
There's a lot of bosses in this raid. They've like confirmed there's a lot of bosses, right?
Most ever.
Yeah.
Most ever.
Which hopefully means lots of drops for us to not be low leveled.
Which would also
maybe I'll get a new exotic armor.
Yeah, right. It would make sense that it would step up light level with each encounter then too. So there could be there could be a serious like shift between the beginning to the end in terms of light if there's that many bosses.
Sure.
Because it's not like there would be like
I need
4
that
bosses
emblem.
at 560. Right?
Need that emblem.
Yeah.
Yeah, you want that week 1 emblem, right?
Yes, exactly.
Day 1 emblem.
Day 1. My bad.
We are coming up on an hour and 45 minutes in the podcast. Do we want to get to questions?
Sure.
We probably should. Yeah.
Because there's some grind. There's some grind left.
There's some grind we gotta do. We gotta go. We're leaving.
We got things to do here. It can't be talking. We gotta be playing.
Pope Bear asks, this is a question for Triple. Why is the Sleeper the best gun in the game, and how has it made him the best Gambit god that he can be?
Sleeper, it's like live by the Sleeper, die by the Sleeper. That's Gambit now. And
I actually don't own one, and I've been doing fine in Gambit.
Sure. No, and it's not that the Sleeper necessarily is always the best choice. It's just so good consistently all the time.
Yeah.
That it just
body shotting people out of
It's
Sleeper
just
is
not
useful.
ever a bad choice, right? When you have ammo, you're putting hurt on PvE and PvP. But if you're a good sniper and you go in, you can theoretically, you can get a lot more kills very quickly, and you can outgun a Sleeper because you can peek out, take a quick shot. I think that we need a little bit more time for things to settle. Everyone's getting more of the exotics and just has more time to mess around and figure out how to play. But yeah, I think initially, what Tefty was saying earlier about something tweaking the ammo slightly on the Sleeper could be a solution. But let me tell you, it's still fun. Run around Sleeper, someone invades, pops a super, dome, they're gone. You feel bad, but you also feel kind of good. So.
There's a question I would like to ask all of you about the raid.
Yeah.
What is your loadout that you're beefing up with light that you're gonna take in?
I'll go first. I was talking about this earlier. Is I basically just let my leveling up happen as it comes, and I've learned to do this. Is I go into the raid basically with my highest weapons, and then infuse stuff as it seems like it's going to be useful.
Mm-hmm.
So like scouts were really good in the Taken King. Close range weapons were really good in Rise of Iron. So it's like I never really know what kind of weapons are going to be great for a raid. So I don't find that it's very useful to be leveling stuff up and wasting materials or wasting possible like god rolls. Like I'd hate to have like a god roll on a scout rifle that I'm thinking scout rifles are going to be great in the raid, and then I'm like, no, actually I really want close range weapons, so I'm going to infuse this god roll scout rifle into this hand cannon that's got a mediocre roll, because hand cannons are just going to be more useful at this close range combat.
Yeah, it's going to be impossible to know for sure going in, but I feel like I have one of the new 4-burst pulse rifles, the Go Figure. It's a kinetic. I got a really good roll on. I got a Rampage, I got Outlaw, I got High Cal.
That's awesome.
I hit the jackpot on that one, and it just destroys in PvE. I'll probably infuse that. Take the Icalo shotgun, because that is still putting the hurt on. And then we got Sleeper, we got Whisper, Tractor Cannon, a lot of good choices for the heavy slot, exotic. I don't know. Who knows? I think it would be a good idea for each of us to maybe hold on to a couple items for infusion.
Yep.
And then when we get in, if we think, okay, we really got to mix our loadouts up, we can just infuse something, still be a really high light, and then go from there. But try to cover the board there. Talk to your fire team, see what they're running, and try to cover all your bases.
It's useful to remember that the light levels work in blocks, like blocks of 5. So like from like
every
1 to
6
6.
and 1.
Yeah, every 6 and 1, you basically move into a different like kind of block of damage and how much damage you take. Yep. So like if you lose 3 lights, but you don't like cross a 6 or a 1,
right?
It doesn't really matter.
Yeah,
like,
exactly.
So if you go from let's say 559 to 557 or 556, you've made no change effectively. So it's easy to change up weapons in that way.
I think for me, I'm going to have... Midnight Coup is still a really good legendary hand cannon, but...
Sure is.
I would be using that if I'm not using Ace of Spades, because I'm definitely going to bring an Ace. I'm a big fan of linear fusion rifles, so like the hand cannon and then basically double snipes is something that I really enjoy in difficult PvE content, because typically what I found with mouse and keyboard is like I can nearly double up with a shotgun, essentially, with a sniper, unless of course it's pure raw damage like the Icalo shotgun. So I'll probably be bringing a linear fusion rifle, Whisper, and then probably
you talking about just like barrel stuffing a sniper rifle and almost using it as a shotgun?
Well, it's that, but it's also like you can essentially like snipe really fast with PC. So like if something is rushing at you, you essentially like get your shots off a couple. And I've got a snapshot and outlaw roll on a Fate Cries Foul, the Crucible sniper, and like I've been loving this same roll. Yeah, it's beautiful, right?
Good. It's very good.
I think mine has high caliber rounds on it too. So like it staggers these enemies. So like it's fantastic. Perfect. I've been preferring that along with either a linear fusion rifle, or like I said, I'll have Whisper as an option. In which case I'll probably switch to my Midnight Coup. But yeah,
it's hard to think that Whisper won't be useful for something.
Yeah, that boss DPS is insane, right?
Yeah,
that's what you think. Bungie's gonna put every boss no crit spot.
Exactly.
No crits.
The crit is only shown for 5 seconds.
It's gonna be Acreus. Acreus is gonna be the gun we all want to use.
Exactly.
It's all
it's
full
tough.
circle.
What are you bringing?
I think it's just it's hard to say. I've kept Sleeper kind of with me at the light level. I've kind of kept that because it's been pretty cheap for me to infuse generally, with me buying one legendary shard for Alkane Dust and all that stuff from Spider. So I've been kept Sleeper with me. Whisper's at a decent level, so I want to make sure I have stuff to infuse into both of them, depending on which one, because both generally have been good for bosses. Whisper and Sleeper. I'm definitely thinking about Midnight Coup because I haven't had like a god roll primary, and that primary is just always good.
Yep.
And then having
Never
like a
goes
scout
wrong.
in case I need the long range, and then probably a sniper, honestly, like maybe the Twilight Oath, depending, because it's, you know, it's got a good roll on
Mhm.
it. So I'm not sure. I want to keep a shotgun as well, keep a shotgun that I can infuse, because
Same.
I'm sure they're gonna throw something at you where you're like, you're gonna want a shotgun.
Rise of Iron shotguns just were so useful. Remember, like,
Yeah.
just to keep shit away from you.
Well, the Scorn
Yeah.
also.
No,
The Scorn, like,
They like to run at you.
There's obviously going to be Scorn in the raid, right? It's in the Dreaming City, so there's most likely going to be Scorn in the raid. And if that strike with the Fanatic is anything to tell you what might happen in the raid,
God.
there might be a crap ton of
Don't even
Scorn running
Just
at
a
us.
horde of Scorn throwing their damn fire lanterns at you.
In which case,
yeah.
Ikelos, for sure.
That is one of the first times, like, even in some ways worse than Crota's End, where I've just been overwhelmed with mobs of enemies just running at me, and I just could not kill them fast enough. We were doing the 100k Nightfall, and we had to do a few runs to get that right. But it is, I like that strike a lot, except for the fact that he goes immune and teleports like 37 times. But no, I think you're right. There's gonna be Scorn. We're gonna have probably lots of different variety in the types of encounters and what we're probably gonna need to adapt on the fly. And, that's great. But in general, snipers are typically the way to go because so many of these bosses have these knockback attacks, and it's really hard to get, like, it's mostly like for majors, right? Like yellow bar enemies that are just running around mobs of groups, and you're just trying to get those guys down quickly, or shielded enemies. But yeah, snipers, when it comes to DPS, hard to go wrong.
Exactly.
So someone in
don't leave a sniper in the vault.
Brought up Warcliff Coil. Now, Warcliff Coil has been amazing at some things, and then other times it's like, eh. So maybe there will be a time with the boss where Warcliff just does insane amounts of damage.
It seems like if they didn't have a crit, it would be Warcliff Coil would probably have a time to shine, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's exciting.
Yeah, I don't know, man. It's gonna be a journey.
Do you think the Harmony Orb is gonna be in play? Have to get Harmony and then take down shields in the raid?
This is the thing, right? With everything that comes out with Destiny, the strikes, the encounters, the public events are teaching you encounters.
Yeah, they always train you.
It's foreshadowing. Yeah.
So
gonna have to bring the arc charges. And
maybe that's where we find the freaking Plague of the Well dude. He's just chilling in the raid somewhere. That's where he actually
He's drinking
is.
some space juice. Yeah.
He's got some tinkle juice.
He's like, what up? Want to go to the Ascendant Realm?
Maybe it's the final raid boss. The Plague of the Well is the. Oh my god.
Richard says, loving random rolls, but do you think the pool of perks in each slot is a bit on the small side? Been getting a lot of outlaw and kill clip or rampage on loads of stuff and a lot of identical rolls popping up.
I have not had that problem. I'm going to be honest with you.
There's a couple of times where I've been like, is this got a standard roll? Because I have like duplicates exactly the same of the same roll.
Sure. Yeah, that's a good question. So what's interesting with Forsaken is that a lot of weapons have, even within the same archetype, the same weapon type, have different perk pools.
Mm-hmm.
So, for example, something that was surprising to me is the new 150 hand cannon for the Dreaming City. What's it called? Something Vigil. The Waking Vigil.
Yeah.
That I was trying to get a good roll on. And then I was I just keep getting bad rolls. And then I realized I can't get Kill Clip or Rampage or Rangefinder or any of that. I can't even get Firefly and Outlaw in the same, or they are in the same column, so I have to pick one or the other. And then the other perks are just really average. So likewise, like certain shotguns can roll certain combos of perks and the other ones can't. So it's kind of like almost on a per weapon basis, even though in general, like some weapons can have similar perk combos. So I would like to see a little bit more consistency there, because it is kind of frustrating to be like, oh, well, of course, now I found a gun I like, I can get these perks because I have another gun that's like this and it has those perks. It's a little bit confusing unless you're going and checking the database
Right.
to see what all the perks that can roll on it. And likewise, there should be some more perks that are useful. Like even what's the perk from D1? What was it life support? It was kind of like has a chance to proc health regen. That would be a good perk. I would consider using that, or whatever.
You know, it's been an interesting perk. I got Genesis on the Dreaming City rocket launcher.
That is interesting.
So I pop a shield with that thing, and I immediately have a rocket ready to shoot again.
Yeah.
Nice. Wow, that's cool.
It's pretty cool. Yeah. Yeah, I was kind of surprised on that. I do agree that like right now it does seem that there is kind of a limited perk pool, but I was thinking about this like if they are pacing this to then bring in new sets of weapons every season and then new perks every season. So there's like this kind of growing pool or like shifting pool of like weapons that we can go after and hunt over the course of a whole year, then I think I'm going to be really happy with it. If they maintain the exact same perk pool as they introduce new weapon models and archetypes and all that in the game, then I'm going to be disappointed. They do need to evolve like the perk system and introduce new stuff. And like one criticism that I have in the sandbox right now is that basically if it's going to give you more damage or reload speed, that's what you go after. And
basically
that's cool, but how about something that synergizes with like my super or synergizes with the way you kill enemies and all that? Like I want more options than just straight up raw damage.
I want more depth. And like you said, if they're going to bring out the next content drop in December with the Black Armory and we get a new additional set of perks and mods and weapons, that's great, especially if that applies retroactively to the existing weapons. So whatever new perks they add, suddenly now you can go try to get the same guns you have but with a different role, and then that adds more replayability and more depth to the existing set of loot. I certainly hope so.
Agreed.
Yeah,
it could be they're just reserving like the absolute best rolls for the raid weapons or something too. Like if
also possible.
If you have like a Waking Vigil and it comes with an absolute bonkers roll, like you don't want the Waking Vigil to like overshadow the raid weapon, right?
Yeah, totally. That's why Midnight Coup was so good. It was the raid hand cannon.
Midnight Coup was good because it was perfect.
For year one,
it
was perfect.
Still is.
It
still is. It's still great.
Still is.
It's
Galoti says, love the podcast, listen every week. Since most of you had a significant time in Gambit, is there anything that each of you personally believe could make Gambit even better? Let's leave the sleeper sibling out of this one.
Oh, I got one. So when you are ahead, it's more of a deficit being ahead than being behind.
Yeah.
That's
because
weird.
when you are ahead, they can dump a bunch of taken on you. So then you're dealing with the primeval and the wizards and all the blockers that they're sending to you, and they get the buff. Like if they summon their primeval way after you, they get that primeval slayer buff. So what is the point of you being
every
ahead?
13 seconds.
Right, they're invading you all the time. They're dumping a bunch of blockers on you. They get the same buff as you. So what is the point in actually being ahead? If anything, it might be better to kind of be a little bit behind, let them bring out their primeval, and then send blockers on them, and you're more likely to win that way. So I don't like that. I understand that they want the swing to happen, and I think that's great that the swing can happen, but it just doesn't feel like there's enough of an advantage for being ahead.
It'd probably be a good tip for people working on the Ace of Spades too, is get ahead early. You're bound to see about 4 invaders come through late in the game.
With sleeper simulant. Oh, sorry, we're not supposed to talk about that.
I think what they could do is just maybe slow the buff down so that they're not getting as much of the Slayer buff, right?
Yeah.
Or being behind. Like they still get some, and then there's still the chance that they make a great evasion and swing it on that alone. But it shouldn't be like I've been in that same situation where we've been losing. Enemies spawn the primeval first. They kill the wizards, so they start the buff. Then we're a little bit behind, but we catch up. We spawn ours. Boom! We got a 4-time Slayer buff. We just melt the boss and win. And it's like that doesn't feel like we should have won there.
Also, I agree that like being able to suddenly start invading once they summon their prime evil is it's a little imbalance as well. I kind of feel like the other team should be forced to summon their prime evil to open up the portal. personally, because like it wouldn't allow for a swing around, but like there's been times where it feels like you should have to summon your primeval to even the odds right there. Like you need to put in the work to get the motes out.
Mm-hmm.
If you're not getting the motes and not banking them, you're not playing Gambit.
Yeah, I don't know what some people are doing in there, man. Like I swear to God, I'm on teams that just they don't seem to bank any motes at all. Like,
and the drifter's telling him, "Hey, you got 15 motes.
Bank them.
Bank them for a large block.
It flashes on your screen.
Unbelievable.
15 max. Bank your motes." I don't know. I don't know what else they can do at this point. Yeah.
Drifters literally tell you, bank the motes and you can call in your primeval. Bank the motes, you can call in your primeval.
Over and over again.
Nothing. No response. No response. We need voice chat.
That would help. That would help.
John asks, how would you feel if they brought VR to Destiny? Look, the battle rifle was an iconic weapon, and I would love to see it come to Destiny. Absolutely love it. Make it exotic.
Mm-hmm.
All right. Next question.
I thought you said
Kyle McCann
I thought you said VR, and I was like, what?
VR, the battle rifle.
I know.
The battle rifle.
Battle rifle, yeah. Love it.
And Battle Royale.
No.
What?
He meant the battle rifle.
I don't even understand what you're saying. Kyle McMahon says, as a Destiny 1 player, I didn't like the Destiny 2 beta and never bought the game. With the Forsaken DLC, is it worth it to return now?
Yes.
I think so.
That's the easiest question to answer.
Yes.
Yep.
Yes.
Do you like D1? You're gonna like Forsaken.
This is
Do you like fun? You'll like Forsaken.
this has felt like the beginning of possibly the greatest year of the Destiny franchise to date so far. As long as they continue down this path, it is going to be a fantastic year.
Yeah.
Imagine says, should Bungie add bigger maps for 6v6? 12 Guardians shouldn't have to fight on Endless Vale.
I love Endless Vale. It's like one of my favorite maps.
I thought, what's the big one that we all hated Patrol on? It was Callus.
Vasa? Oh.
No, it was in like Callus's Throne World or Callus's Throne. What was that? I fought a fucking Rumble match on that today.
Emperor's Respite. Yes.
Oh my God. I was like, are you kidding me? It was like hiking simulator. My fucking middle finger was getting tired of holding the W key. Like, are you kidding me?
It's tricky, right? Because they come out with D2 and they're like, PvP is 4v4 to mixed opinions. But with that, they were tailoring maps to a specific size, right? Because they didn't have to worry about 6v6 or smaller, Rumble type things. But yeah, as time goes on, I think that they might want to experiment with the size of maps. At the end of the day, to me, like 6v6 is just supposed to be chaotic, right? Mm-hmm. So even though I'll play some matches on Endless Vale and I'll be like, I hate this is way too small, but it's also crazy. And I like that craziness. I'm not taking it super seriously, at least most of the time. And you just want to go in and shoot some Guardians and mess around with whatever loadout you're doing. And then for things like trials and competitive and whatever, I do want the maps to be, at least selected according to those game types and the player size. Yeah. And
I want variety. The first game
variety.
I play doesn't feel like the second game I play, and the third game I play. Like the maps help add to the variety. The selection of weapons add to the variety. Like if every match was on the same size map and the same, corners to peak, it just get boring really quick.
Mm-hmm. Well, that's what was happening in Vanilla D2. It's like the same laning every match. It's
just there's a lane. There's another lane.
I want more verticality to the maps.
Yeah.
A lot of the maps feel very flat and they don't utilize the awesome mobility of players. And that's why I miss things like Asylum and Anomaly and Twilight Gap, because there's so many layers to the map. They're dense. I hope we get some of those maps back. Iron Banner Season 4 is coming soon. I hope that they're bringing back another one with the tradition. But then, I hope they kind of go back to that style.
That's why I like that.
Suits the game.
The one that came with, I think it was Curse of Osiris, or maybe it was Warmind. I don't know. The map we were just talking about earlier. That's in the Arcology. Like there's some verticality to that map.
Yeah. So and because I've been on PC, I've never played that map.
Yeah.
Because it was a PlayStation exclusive.
Yeah.
I like that map a lot.
Yeah, same.
Because you got the middle, you have like the bridge area, you can go underneath it. I think it's
there's
that's
these
one
like
of my favorites.
Yeah, there's a few of the bridges that have like these multiple levels, so you can either be looking up or like trying to see people coming in. Like that feels like a Destiny map to me, where there's a lot of options for play styles right there. You can shotgun, you can snipe, you get Vostok, and it's like, what the hell? Like Vostok is such a problem. They need to like reshape that.
But Vostok has it has a little bridge there, with a cave.
It's got windows.
What more do you
People
need?
really like windows.
Yeah, people like the windows.
Vostok is like
head
3
glitches.
maps that were like Frankenstein together. It's unbelievable.
Yeah.
Questions?
Brian?
Twitter?
Brody says, how do you feel about the new Crucible map slowly being integrated through Forsaken rather than all at once?
I like it.
Yeah, I like it.
Yeah.
I like it. It's nice to just have like one extra thing pop up and you're like, oh, cool, it's a new map. And then, 2 weeks later, it's like, oh, a new map.
2 things I like about it. One, it's free and it's not tied to the content drops. So we have a unified player pool. And did I mention it's free? And what I've really come to love about the way Bungie is rolling out content is that when it comes out, you don't have everything. There's things that are going to be unlocked over time. There's going to be subclass trees. There's going to be strikes. There's going to be world events, and now there's going to be things for Crucible a little bit later. If all the Crucible stuff was in now, I wouldn't be getting to play it at all, and I'd be upset because I've been grinding light and experiencing everything else, and I think it does add to some of the longevity by just trickling that in a little bit, and it doesn't bother me at all.
Just straight up just like I said, free maps. Like the population's not getting split up. You are if you own.
They never did that in Destiny 1, right? They always split it up.
This is the first time that they've done this.
It was separate.
Yeah.
That's why they had the classic playlist for all the people.
Yeah.
Who didn't have
Yeah, which hurt the population, and I guess they didn't have those problems before, but obviously D2 was a different situation. And now, if you own the vanilla D2, you can continue to play new PvP maps with each as they get released.
And we get the new mode Breakthrough.
Yep.
Which looks really
We
fun.
do.
Yeah.
Chris Lennon says, has everyone enjoyed the 10-day break before the raid lead up? Have you been relaxing, getting rested?
Man. Just lots of sleep.
Yeah.
I've been eating great, let me tell you.
I
gourmet cooked meals every night.
I went to Dunkin' Donuts this morning. I got a bagel and a nice coffee. And my wife is like, why is there a bagel on the kitchen counter? I'm like, I forgot to eat it. I just forgot to eat today. Go. Oops.
Oh, man.
Yeah.
Like, I'm good. I can eat before the stream. It's during the stream.
Yeah.
It's hard.
Same.
It's like, I gotta go get food. I have to put the food into my body. And it's just, that's time that I'm not getting my light up.
I purchased lots of food that's good for streaming and eating. I went out and did full shopping trip before Forsaken came out.
Very smart.
And I bought all the stuff. So I'm doing okay.
Yep. Same for me, honestly. But like the problem is your brain goes on grind mode and you try to take breaks from it, but as you're sleeping and as you're doing other things, you're thinking about, well, I got to make sure I get that for my hunter. And
that's why I wrote a list.
You write down a schedule for the things you're going to hit, which order you're going to do.
Yeah, man. You're like, all right, tomorrow I have to make sure I get this done all the way up to here. Otherwise, I'm going to be behind. And it's like you can't stop thinking about it, man.
That's why I can't sleep. I got to write it down to get it out of my damn head.
It's great. It's great having that hobby experience. That
this
can be my one game. It's tremendous.
Yeah.
Those were all real questions. Things are going to go downhill now. Eric asks, now that The Witcher is coming to Netflix, the question is, will Teft finish watching or quit partway through?
Well, there is possibilities for all things that exist. We'll see.
There are many timelines.
There's many timelines to this Witcher experience.
Hugo Rune says the pasteurization, homogenization, aging, cooling of dairy products is revealed to be a big lie, and ice cream is in fact unicorn poop. Do you still eat it?
I think I eat it more, so knowing it's unicorn poop.
That make it vegan?
Just because it's got a horn on its head doesn't make it good.
It's magical.
Yeah, it's magical.
What if rhinos are the unicorns of our timeline?
I'm not eating that.
That's a universe. That's a universe we live in.
Rhinos
unicorns
was
got
the unicorn
This is the
manifestation.
darkest timeline.
Man, ice cream's delicious. I'd still eat it. What the hell?
I don't think it could theoretically get worse for you than it already is.
Unicorns have magic.
Could get worse.
There's magic.
It could be.
You could get the magic shits. Yeah.
I'm intrigued. Go on.
I don't know what this is.
Tell me more about these magic shits.
I mean, hey, teleporting streaks.
One wipe. Magic shit. Cobalt says, if you could put any Destiny character in a mundane, regular job, who would you put where? Any character in Destiny, you're putting them in a mundane job. Pizza delivery boy, IRS agent.
I'm going to say Callus, because he seems to like himself a lot.
Oh, that's a good one.
Uh-huh.
And we're going to put him, what would we put him as? It's one of the most mundane thing that he possibly could do.
Like an angry 5th grade teacher. Like, he had big plans for his life. He didn't expect to see himself end up as a 5th grade teacher.
And he just keeps telling the kids to grow fat from strength.
That's hilarious. Call and Chad was saying Asher, and I think Asher would be probably the best, like as like a doorman at like a fancy hotel. Target cashier.
Yep. Dreadnought says, what's the most memorable moment you shared with a stranger who never saw again and will probably never see?
Oh.
All right, so this is perfect. So a few weeks ago, I'm running around on IO, picking up my cage chests, rest in peace, and there's one that like I couldn't find for a while. It's like hidden away like on top of this tower, and you have to like jump on rocks and then up onto like these like hanging debris or something. And I couldn't find it. Eventually, I got it, and then I look down and I see that there's like this Titan just running in circles, and I realize he's also looking for it. And then I basically just shot with my gun exactly where I jumped for him to follow, and he did it. And he got up there, he got his chest, we danced, and then we never saw each other again. And that was like...
I got a real similar story, Triple.
That's awesome.
Right when I go into the Dream City, one of the first times I go to the Dreaming City, and I find this chest. It is surrounded by these 3 like glowing things, right?
I've seen
and
that.
There's a bunch of Guardians around, and this one idiot, he comes back with this orb, and he's like trying to like bang it against the chest. I told him in chat, I think you broke it, and he just left.
It's just, what is it? Open. It doesn't work.
It's beautiful. This is hard for me, honestly. I'm just so mad at everyone not doing public events properly that
I know, that's so annoying, right?
Just permanently pissed off.
When you see like a level 34 just burning the freaking boss in like a Tangled Shore public event, you're like, stop! There's a thing, there's the circle on the ground. Pick it up. That's annoying.
Yeah.
That's my story, is me being like, stop shooting the thing, shoot the other thing.
Ruining the public event.
That's my story.
I needed 2 ghost fragments, now I only got 1, damn it. I was in
Zachary.
I was just gonna say I was in the blind well last night. I was trying to get the blind well done as quick as possible because the raid is coming up in 2 days at that point. Now it's a day. And
was there Telesto in this story?
Yeah, they were. I was Telestoing because we need to get this. We need to get like the Send It Between Worlds thing done as quick as possible. And they're standing like there was 2 blueberries in there with our team. We had the numbers to say, "Nah, fam, this is our instance," And they were trying to stand in front of my Telesto to.
Oh, they were trying to block.
They were trying to Telesto block, and I was like, "Bruh,
what,
bruh."
Shortstop.
It's literally just
they want the kills in the well. That's what they want.
Right.
They're probably doing that bounty.
Oh,
with the
maybe they're
kills
farming
in the well.
for kills in the well. Okay.
Yeah, but I feel like you can get that done just as easy killing the boss, right? In the ads from the boss. So.
Have you seen that glitch when somebody actually hits you with a Telesto in the blind well and you can see the thing flashing around your waist?
Oh yeah, it's just flashing on your screen. Are you talking about that?
I've seen that. Yeah.
Oh god.
That's weird. Zachary Richardson says, "Hey DCP, okay, would you rather go down into the Paris catacombs for a night and being possessed for an hour, or stuck on a spaceship for the night, knowing that there's an alien life form roaming around?"
Hold up, what was the first one?
Paris
Go
catacombs.
into the Paris catacombs and you're possessed for an hour.
Do you guys know what the catacombs is?
Yeah, it's like they're like filled with skulls and stuff, right?
It's basically a ton of people are buried there. Like a lot. Like millions. Like millions of people.
Centuries of people have been
I'm
buried.
a little less concerned about the location and more concerned with the fact that
what does the possessing entail?
Yeah, like a guaranteed
if it's just people who died and are just like buried there, and I get possessed by, I don't know, some miner guy who worked back in the day and he's now in the catacombs.
Francois
that's
the baker?
less scary than spaceship.
Asher, the Target employee.
Maybe I get possessed and they just want to go have a good cheeseburger or something. Like that's a win-win. I'm happy to help them out for an hour, and I don't know.
Honestly,
I have to see. I have to cross that bridge.
The alien,
Wait, do they have full control of my body for an hour?
It's a possession.
Yes. Maybe they kill you.
Yikes.
Maybe they're mad that they're dead and they're like, "You gonna die."
Here's the thing:
right?
this is what you have to roll the dice on. Is the alien on the spaceship going to be friendly or wanting to eat you? And
didn't it say that it was bad?
Did it say bad?
No,
True.
There is no description of
well, then I'm going with
intent in any way.
You think it's going to be friendly?
And you get to go to space.
Yeah, maybe
I'm going with the friendly alien.
It's the ET who just wants to kick it,
Yeah.
talk about life.
Or
It's
an alien technology weapon xenomorph that's going to eat you alive and lay babies in your chest.
Dying a horrible death. Horrible.
Or it's a furball.
I'm going with the alien.
Yeah.
Maybe
this is all better.
I just lock myself in a compartment and take a nap, and then
maybe it's barf. Baseballs. Cole Chaos says, "What is everyone's favorite kind of mustard? If any of you say yellow mustard, though, I'm gonna have to block y'all."
Dijon mustard?
I mean,
wait a minute.
I like a quality mustard.
Is that how you say that?
I don't know. How do you say it?
Dijon?
I thought it was Dijon.
Dijon?
Y'all got that Dijon mustard?
Dijon.
Okay, on the Dijon.
Dijon. You could also say Dijon, like Digimon.
The Digimon mustard. Yeah.
The Digimon mustard. Yeah.
I'm not gonna lie. I think it's yellow mustard. It just it goes with everything.
I mean,
I'm not great upon in a hot dog. You know what I like to do is I like to pour a little bit of French's ketchup or French's mustard and then cover it with ketchup and then dip fries in it, and you get just a little bit of ketchup or a little bit of mustard on every fry with your ketchup. Oh, it's delicious.
I usually don't do mustard on fries.
What's that?
I usually don't do mustard on fries.
It's a special treat. It's not every time. Once in a while.
Once in a while, huh? Yeah.
Mixing it up. Yeah.
No
I'm not
strong
sure
feelings on the mustard. Okay.
No. I mean,
not
if
really
there's a
mustard.
quality mustard, I'm going to use the quality mustard. If like I have to use like the regular French's yellow mustard, I'll do it. But like I will prefer a quality or more quality.
Going with hot sauce.
Nice.
Yeah.
Cholula.
Ketchup is good.
Ketchup is. I do love ketchup.
Most interesting Korean says, if you had to have one night stand with any Destiny NPC, who would you choose? Destiny 1 or Destiny 2, it doesn't matter. And you can't all choose the same character.
Definitely Callus, 100%.
Okay. Explain.
Well, he's got a lot of grape juice. I like grape juice.
He's very rich.
Yeah.
Yeah. He's rich.
I mean,
Lots of
have
grape
you
juice.
seen like his palace? You know, and all the all the weapons he's got.
So I'm not saying he's not going to be your sugar
I
daddy.
got the midnight coup.
You never know.
From him.
You don't know. Maybe Tefty has the good
Maybe there's another midnight
fantasy
coup.
shaking.
I mean, come on.
He's gonna shake.
He's not going to
Callus'
buy
fantasy.
you his apartment and keep you as a side piece, Tefty.
How do you,
might.
you don't know that,
Yeah, you don't
Briar.
know that.
Jesus, man. Making
It's a
assumptions
one-night
about
stand.
me and
That's not how
I
that
Callus.
don't know what
goes,
he's
Unbelievable.
a one night into.
Plus, I've already seen his junk, you know, when he like is doing that thing you see under, you
True.
know?
It's true. Yeah.
I know what I'm getting into, you know?
Yeah.
Oryx.
Mm.
Okay. Explain.
He's just hot. I don't know what to tell you. If you don't see it, I can't help you see it.
It's got that space musk going on.
I don't see it. I don't see it.
Oryx is awesome. The first time we saw Oryx, and it's got like that Taken King theme, and he's standing there all ominous and stuff. He's just cool. He's just awesome. I love Oryx.
Well, there's only one woman for me, and her name is Omnigul.
Yes,
True. That's
Farnagle.
true.
She's a
She
screamer.
makes me scream. I make her scream.
She blessed you with so much loot before.
It's
right?
a love-hate relationship, I assure you.
Yeah.
But
Honestly,
What
you
can I
PC
say?
guys, if you saw the Brood Mother in the new strike, you might pick
Yeah,
her.
looking good.
She's
all right.
hot.
Hey, I'm not committed to
Well,
Oryx.
Her withstanding, I got to go with Zavala. I need somebody who's warm and can
Dependable.
Need
protect
a
me.
cuddler.
Yeah, I want to feel. Yeah, I want to feel like home and protected, and just safe. And Zavala is going to provide that. No doubt about
I
it.
don't know if Zaval's going to come for you, though. If you get in trouble, he's going to be like, I got to protect the house. Sorry.
He's going to be a giving lover too. I can tell you that.
Oh, man.
That's it. That was the last question. That was every question. that
People
got
are too
asked.
busy playing to ask us questions.
yeah.
No one cares. Have you noticed when you're streaming as well, unless people are asking you questions about what to do, most people are grinding
grinding.
and just have the stream in the background.
Yeah,
The lurk is
I'm the same
definitely
way.
big.
Yeah.
If I'm playing and I'm not streaming, I've definitely got somebody on
Same.
Twitch. Like absolutely.
Yeah,
Yep.
same.
Absolutely.
I can't do it when I'm falling asleep though, because then I keep thinking about grinding.
That's the
and-
thing. Yeah. Sleep is a commodity. It's very rare right now.
They
I
discover
still-
something as you're just about to fall asleep. I'm like, oh, I gotta
Fuck.
go.
I know, I'm
gotta
like,
go to
what
this
was that?
farm.
Yep.
What was that?
They found something.
Exactly.
That's why I've still got Tefty's Planet Coaster on VHS. It streams on VHS.
VHS.
Oh, it's so
Oh,
good.
isn't it
That's
nice?
the one right there.
Boom! Out like a light, man. Perfect.
All right, guys, that is the show. Thank you very much for watching. If you want to find more of me, I am Tefty Teft. Catch me at Teft on Twitter and outside. Catch me outside. And also twitter.tv/Tefty
Never.
Teft. If you want to catch my stream. Wait, twitch.tv. Yeah, I said Twitch, right? My brain is mush, man. Like
I know, same.
I-
People ask me questions.
He's
and I'm
already
trying to
thinking about the
explain it, and I'm
grind.
like,
He's
Yeah.
already like, okay.
Exactly.
You do the
Hop
same.
on,
Stream
gotta
after this?
get my prime in.
Are you
man.
streaming?
Think
he has to, right?
I've got a ton of rewards I have to get, man.
I don't know though. You
Gotta
gotta wake
get
up
it in.
early.
Gotta do it now.
I'm either going to stream
So,
or do it
alright.
offline. I'm not sure. We'll see.
So you got to do at least your three characters that are weeklies, right?
There's a few, yeah.
What
I did
time
a
you
little
planning
bit
to go to
earlier.
bed?
I did a little bit earlier today.
Oh, okay.
Yeah,
All right.
but like I still have, I still got like the Petrovenge stuff that I have to turn in, but I don't want to turn that in until I've done some other stuff. You know, it's complicated, man. It's complicated.
Yeah.
It's complicated. I gotta level up my crucible.
Ugh. So yeah. Think Watts or no Briar?
Me.
Oh yeah,
Briar.
go watch. No,
No,
go watch.
me. Okay.
Oh, sorry.
Briar.
It's not here and it throws
Here.
everything off, man. Unbelievable.
Daddy's not here. We can do whatever we want.
Oh my God. I am Miss 5000 Watts. You can find me streaming on twitch.tv/Miss 5000 Watts, Search me on Twitter, talk to me there, and the YouTubes.
Triple?
Everything is /triple-rec. Boom. Simple.
That's easy to remember.
Bam.
And catch one of his 48-hour streams coming soon.
Grinding something mind-numbing,
You
usually.
will find me streaming.
Right?
I will be live 99% of the time.
Well, thank you very much for watching, guys. We will see you.
I'm Brian Rabbit.
Oh, my bad.
On Twitch, streaming weekdays, Brian Rabbit. Talk to me on Twitter, Brian Rabbit. It's all the same stuff, Brian Rabbit.
See, this is the problem. The guest always goes last, and that's when I know to say the thing.
That's fucked, though. How come we always make the guests go last?
Actually, no, my bad. Pope always goes last.
Pope.
Yeah.
Yeah, Pope goes
See,
last.
Pope threw everything off, man. And again, I'm not like awake right now. I'm actually sleep talking right now. It's crazy.
Yeah, I don't know.
So
Papa Pope has abandoned us.
Great.
We're lost in the wilderness.
Great episode, guys. Thank you so much for watching. We'll see you next week to talk about the raid and all.
With maybe world's first Dado.
Maybe that's right. Yeah, absolutely. So we are going to roll some credits, be back to read out some subs live, and we'll see you next week. Thank you very much for watching, guys.
Bye.
Bye.
Peace.